girl, I'm glad I fell in your way. Then she says, oh boy, count your lucky stars, count what you've been wishing for. Oh boy, count how you are now adored. I can say the sun burns much brighter today. I can see my path of clouds darken my way. So yeah, I got this feeling, it's something I find hard to explain. See, I wasn't looking, but girl, I'm glad I fell in your way. Then she says, oh boy, count your lucky stars, count what you've been wishing for. Oh boy, count the life you lead, count that you will now adore. She says she's tired of watching me just wilt and bleed. I'm like Jesus, I see in those who do believe. Do you believe? 'Cause yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is good. Yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a slug like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. Girl, I got this feeling, and something I find strange. See, I wasn't looking, but girl, I'm glad I fell in your way. Then she said, oh boy, count your lucky stars, count what you've been wishing for. Oh boy, count this life you lead, count that you are now adore.
Wow. Great job and congratulations, Rockstar.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Dad times two.
I didn't know if it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Neither did I. We had a plan, but I think by December we had to stop because she is. We're at the advanced age,
Right,
both
yeah.
of us, and doctors have suggest like, hey, at this time, this is when you got to stop.
Yeah.
So-
I'll ask the uncomfortable question Buddy has asked. Are we certain it's just one? Could this be twins? Do we know yet?
We draw the heart. We did. We're 9 weeks in.
Okay, so you know it's just
so
one.
we're
I hope
good.
it's triplets.
Yeah, that would be
Oh, my
amazing.
God.
We'll never see Rockstar again.
Finally got my band.
Florida Bama brought you the lounge. Teacher, play the drums.
Bulls on the Beach is coming September 5th through the 7th. They're already halfway sold out. They sell out every single year. If you want to see that 3 nights adrenaline rush, live rodeo action featuring professional bull riders from all over the country, portion of the proceeds from this event will go to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Go to florabama.com/bulls on the beach and make sure you get in all weekend long. Best bar out there, the Florida Bama.
Thank you, Rockstar. Thank you to Todd Furman, Tom Lugabill, David Keckner for being with us on the show. It was a fun one. We will do it all again Monday. Please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Share us, like us, everywhere you watch us. Follow us at Next Round Live on all social media. Subscribe, set your alerts on YouTube. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday on the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show now on a Monday as we're all back together again. One of those rare shows where nobody in here has a hat on as we get going. I told Maggie that coming back from a sick leave, I need to remind everybody how old I am, since I may or may not be wearing a diaper today.
Oh, no.
I am not. I am not, but I needed
We'll
one.
know if we see you go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I needed one Thursday and Friday, though, I'll tell you that. Thank you guys for covering for me. Glad to be back. We got a ton of college football, a ton of recruiting that went on at Auburn, some Olympic stuff, NFL camps, which are going absolutely crazy these days, new contracts and everything. But let's start things off by bringing good news to announce officially time and place and date of our kickoff party for this year. Brownie, it's coming up very soon, as it always does, right around a big anniversary date for us.
Yeah, I mean, we have, I think, settled on this date pretty permanently, August 15th. That was the date of our first show ever. Am I right about that, or was that August 16th?
August 16th.
So it's the eve of our first show ever.
People are getting paid.
People, what?
The 15th. People are getting
It's true,
paid.
it's payday. So you get that payday and come on out and party with us. Walk-ons, Stadium Trace in Hoover, same place we've done it last couple of years, right there off of 150 near the Hoover Met. And we'll go 5-ish until. I mean, you guys get there early anyway. Heck, I mean, we've had people beating us there the last few years, and we're the host of the party.
Yeah, we appreciate them helping us set up when we do that there. So we're doing this. I'm always confused because this is our fourth football season. It's our fourth party.
Yep.
But it's our third anniversary. Is that correct? Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So our I'm trying to think.
I get confused about that, but we had a party to kick off.
We have
the kickoff
I
party.
I know we've had two at Stadium Trace. I know we've had one. Yeah, this will be our fourth.
Yeah.
It's our
That's right.
fourth. It's our fourth party.
Yep.
It's our fourth kickoff party, fourth football season, but it starts the third year of our show.
Right.
No, it starts.
fourth.
It
It starts
ends
the
the-
fourth.
Okay, it
Yeah,
ends
ends
the
the
third.
third year.
Okay.
So third anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did
Yeah.
not celebrate an anniversary the day you got married.
I did not. You're
Did
right.
not celebrate birthday the day you were born.
I did not. I did not.
Although you should. It's literally called the birthday. That's the one you
I know.
should celebrate more than any.
It does. That makes
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. So that's coming up August 15th, the Thursday before our 16th, August 16th anniversary. It's at Walk-Ons again, right there near the Hoover Met, just off the I-459 exit where it's been the last couple of years. So come out, enjoy great drinks and food and T-shirts and all the fun that we have every year at that. A chance for us all to get together, talk football, raise a glass, and cheer college football, which gets going this week. Talking season officially ended last week with you guys, and we're in camps. Alabama and Auburn go midweek. UAB goes tomorrow. It is camp time. So the question I want to ask off the bat here, I want you to think about this for later in the show. We'll get to this, say, 10 o'clock, start hour 2.
Okay.
But I want you to think about the 5 teams you think that won talking season, who are the 5 teams that are better off after talking season than they were going into talking season. We'll get to that coming up at 10 o'clock. But we're going to start things off with Big Cat Weekend down at Auburn. It was really big. It's brought to you by our friends at Michelson as they look at what Hugh Freeze is doing down on the plains.
Hey, if you wear contacts, you wear glasses, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100, Michelson Laser Vision. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. I've still got it. Make the phone call, 205-969-8100. As for Amy, tell her the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Listen, the Jared Smith kid was a Spain Park edge rusher, 4-star guy. He's going to play at Thompson this year. He shows up at Big Cat Weekend. I told Brown when we all started, it was all about Dodge Chargers. If we had joked about this picture back in the day, LT, this would have been like Jetsons for us. He shows up at Big Cat Weekend in this Cybertruck, according to Jeffrey Lee. Now, that I don't know if that's a spoof or not, because that doesn't look like Jared, who's driving the car, driving the Cybertruck there. And we probably need a bigger Auburn logo decal for the side of that thing. But big recruiting weekend. We got guys rolling in Lambos and all the other great cars, Cybertrucks.
Is the Cybertruck the Dodge Charger of the future? Is that what you're going to have to get recruits
I don't
now?
know. I mean, how difficult would that thing be to park?
I'm just being honest with you. Like, I hate making car payments. I absolutely hate making car payments. But if you came to me and said, this is yours free, I'd have to think about it.
I would too. It does look like it'd be easier to park LT, like it could fit under a staircase perfectly if you back it in.
I think I would just find the end of a parking lot and park there. I've said this before. I will drive almost any.
I mean, I hate making a car payment. I hate making a car payment more than I hate the way that thing looks, probably. So I'd probably end up driving that for free.
So you're telling me that, who makes this, Tesla?
Yep.
If Nick Saban, Tesla Birmingham, said, hey, I want to sponsor you guys. I don't know what you guys are doing up there with all your hypotheticals, but I know it's got a lot of viewers. I'd love to sponsor the show. I'll give one of you a free Cybertruck for endorsements. You'd say yes?
I said last week I would take one of the pink Escalades from Mary Kay.
Yeah. Which one's worse?
I'm telling you, you give it to me, I'm like Brown, man. I mean, you know, the car payment just feels at times like you're throwing money in a hole.
It really does. And I was talking to my daughter the other day because she had to buy her a new car going back to college.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't feel like I deserved congratulations on that.
I mean, she's happy about it.
Oh, she's very happy about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So congratulations on making your daughter happy.
I've tried it every way. Like, I know what the financial, and like, you can't find financial people that even agree on the best way to do it. Like, I have leased, I have financed, I have bought new, I have bought used, I have paid cash for a car. I mean, I've done it every way. None of them feel good.
None of them. And I saw Ross over there in the mybookie.ag saying, is that why I drove Ram trucks for so long? First of all, I did inquire about a Ram truck this weekend. I love Ram trucks, but for 7 years, I had a free truck, and it was incredible. I didn't pay for oil changes. I didn't pay for tires. I didn't pay for insurance. I didn't pay for tags. It was absolutely incredible. So I do like Dodge Rams. When we started this, I don't know if you guys remember this, there was a new dealership, and they had just agreed to give me a Black Widow, $100,000 truck. And
I do remember that. Yeah.
I had to inform them the week of, hey, we're leaving Jocks.
Yeah.
And so I had to leave. That was a year deal on a $100,000 truck I had to walk away from.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know the way I liked it best. I think maybe my leasing is really good because you really never have to do anything to it.
Well, so my lease runs out. First time I've ever leased, my lease runs out September 1st.
Yeah. So
how does that work? Do you get dinged after the lease if you don't go over the miles? Do you still get hit?
What do you mean?
Do you owe money?
Like, you keep going?
No, like I'm just talking about, like, you give it back and they're like, it depreciated a little bit.
No. You walk away, hand them the keys if you're not over miles or you don't have any damage.
There's a little fee that's when you turn it in, make sure you're asking somebody to make sure they cover that. There's about a $400-$500 fee because I just wrapped
up.
I don't know what it's for, but it's something.
Did you just went and
it's
paid
something.
It?
No.
No, not if I just leave the keys and walk on.
But yeah, the same thing just happened to me. Mine was coming up, so I bought a used truck real quick. You have to make a choice. Do you want to keep leasing? I love the leasing life for a little bit.
I like it, except that you always are staring at a car payment. Like, the rest of your life, you're going to have a car payment. And now the other side of that is what else I've done. I've paid cash for a car. And then you never have a car payment, but then you're like, boy, that was a chunk of cash I just laid down for a car.
I am thinking about going the really used route, at least for a year or two, and just...
You're going to drive a beater?
I'll probably drive a beater, yeah.
But he doesn't.
I've never been a big car guy. Like, if whatever you want to bring me, like if I had just FU money, then there are certain things that I would love to have. But, man, dropping, and I saw something I was talking about the Ram truck. It was a 2021. It was an old client of mine, and I reached out to him and I said, what do you have into that? Now, a 2021 Ram, and it looked great, black on black. What do you think a 2021 would be?
Right now,
pretty loaded?
You got a mileage?
No, it had to be low miles, though. But still, we're talking about 4 years out.
Pretty loaded?
4 years?
Yeah.
I'd still say you're in the 30s on that.
No. I'm going to say you're 49 to 52.
Okay, I thought it was going to be around 50. And he sent me back, I can do it for you for $77,900.
Yeah.
For a used?
And I'm like, a 2021 truck?
A used?
Yeah.
So everything is so damn expensive.
Did you say, I'm not trying to buy your dealership.
Yeah.
No,
I just want the truck.
Mine's not loaded. It's a Ford, but I got it through a friend for 36 and 5,000 miles. was a 23. It was a right time, right place kind of thing. Worked out really good. So.
Yeah, I'd love to have like an old Land Cruiser.
Well, our buddy Woody, I think I saw him on Facebook. He's posting a Tahoe if you want one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's well taken care of. It's Woody. I mean,
What
you
year?
may have a spit cup in there.
Wait, I could trade wine to Woody. What what year are we talking about?
I don't know.
Is this swap shop?
I got a goat.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
If I lived, if our office was downtown and I lived downtown, I would try not to have a car.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that lived in Atlanta and he didn't have a car.
Well, what would he do though? Like if he wanted to go out of town, he'd just go rent a car.
He'd get an Uber and he would to
I
drive.
mean, like if he says, you know what, I'm going to go to the beach.
Well, he would fly, but
Well, you're not going to be able to do that.
I know,
I'd say, what
I
would you
know.
do?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if downtown here, I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
you would just rent a car.
Yeah.
That seems to be problematic, too. They've got you over a barrel there. Lunceford says, I'll sell Lance my 2022 Ford Explorer right now.
No, we can talk.
Okay, commercial break.
Sounds like a deal.
Okay,
Sounds a little new for me, but
Little T,
2022?
Little T, can you record Lunceford and we'll make this, Shark Tank. Y'all go back there and you pitch it to him, Lunceford, and see if he buys it, and we'll make this all work. At Auburn, though, they brought in a lot of recruits this weekend. I asked Little T, who was on top of this all weekend, what was something in common with the Auburn commitments over this weekend. They were from 2025 and 2026, but two things that were in common. They were in-state players,
Okay.
for the most part, but they were defensive players. Big defensive push this weekend. The one everyone's talking about is the four-star defensive lineman from Saraland, teammate of Ryan Williams, the receiver at Alabama, Antonio Coleman, who committed to Alabama last September, to Auburn in December, back to Alabama in March, and now in July he's to Auburn. So he's done that rare flip, and a lot of people think he'll stay here through December and end up being an Auburn Tiger.
Why do they think that? He's already committed 4 times.
This is what's crazy about recruiting. And, I was, hearing about USC signed their highest defensive commit in forever, 2026 class. These guys are flipping more than they've ever flipped before.
You think they get paid every time they flip?
I do.
I think probably so, yeah.
And, boy, it's just such a dirty business. I mean, I know it was before. Just didn't seem like you had guys that would flip as much as they are now. So, it's great to have these guys commit to you, but until you have them there, and even when you have them there, then more than half the time they leave.
It's one and done.
Yeah,
Usually,
everybody's excited about what Kalen DeBoer is doing recruiting. Everybody's excited about Big Cat Weekend. I don't count any of these guys till they're in my jersey taking a snap in an actual game. And even then, to Lance's point, that might be the height of their contribution to my team. They could transfer at any moment.
I don't worry about red shirts ever again.
Yeah.
Don't worry about redshirting him. He's not going to be ours in 2 years anyway.
This Antonio Coleman, he's apparently a pretty good player because Alabama and Auburn literally are fighting back and forth for the kid. I guess they both really, really want him. It'll be fascinating to see what happens because this one has to stick all the way to December, right? I mean, he's signing in December.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whoever he's committed to, you got to keep it till December.
And if you are Antonio Coleman, his dad, his uncle, whoever, and you're like, hey, I need $500 for us to continue this conversation. I mean, when does it stop?
Yeah, that's true. Like if you said,
try $50,000.
No, I'm just
but to
pulling out a
Lance's
random
point,
number.
I mean, to Lance's point, if I'm just out one day and I see a set of golf clubs I want, why would I not just pick up the phone and say, hey, I really like these clubs. Any way you can put these on your credit card for me?
Yeah. And I would like to, try them out today at Shoal Creek.
That's right. So give me a tea time.
Yeah, look, I know you're committed to Auburn. We want you to at least have another conversation with us. Well, we can have that conversation, and you guys are welcome to show up, but can you bring me this? Like, I would assume that nobody shows up empty-handed anymore, which
I would agree. Yeah.
It's pretty sad. in
Yeah, I
itself.
would assume no family shows up with their hands in their pockets, is what you're saying. Like when Big Cat Weekend rolled around, you had a lot of kids come in. And when Alabama did their cold summer cookout or whatever it was called, and a lot of kids came in, I doubt anybody came in hands in pocket like, no, we don't want anything.
Oh, no, just that burger. this cold summer, whatever it was.
Cold summer cookout burger.
Yeah.
But I would say on the other hand, when those families show up, the coaches aren't coming in thinking, I'm not going to have to do something. Like, I'm sure the families don't ever have to stick their hands out. I'm sure it's understood. You're here, you're going to get something out of it.
Did you guys ever see the terrible movie, and now I can't even remember what it was called. It was with Ben Affleck, the Christmas movie. Santa Claus's, what was it called? Reindeer Games.
Yes, Reindeer Games.
Terrible movie. Anyway, they dress up like Santa Claus.
Charlize Theron in there?
And, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And she's, kind of a coup de grace moment for her.
Yes, I've heard.
But they dress up like Santa Clauses, so you can't really tell them apart, and they rob a casino out in the Midwest. New storyline. Winter's one of these big weekends where they've got cash on hand where you get a group that comes in and robs a football complex.
Where Affleck and Damon come in ski mask.
Football complex. Yeah, Hugh Freeze got his hands up.
I mean, because there's no telling what kind of money they got there.
LT's just wrote the script for SEC 11, like Ocean's 11. We're going to heist an SEC franchise. The kid I liked out of this weekend, 4-star corner, 5'11", DB Blake Woodby, one-time Ohio State commitment, flips to Auburn. They got several guys for 2026 from this weekend that has Auburn currently number one in the 2026 recruiting cycle right now. Way too early, as you look at that, but somebody's got to be number one, and it's Auburn right now after the Big Cat weekend. Today, Auburn is expected to get another big guy, 4-star safety Anquan Fegans, the Thompson safety. Is expected to pick Auburn, but in the mix is Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and LSU, so you never know until he makes his announcement official later today.
I don't have a lot of insight on recruiting, but I have heard that is a pretty strong commitment.
A pretty lock on Auburn there. Anquan Fegans there today down in Alabaster making that commitment sometime after the show. 5-star running back A.K. Deere, expected to pick Alabama today, or at least Alabama's in the consideration. So some recruiting news that is ongoing, and we'll try to keep you up to date on that as we move forward. A lot of on-the-field football we'll talk about as well. The show being brought to you by Greg from Pell City and Storm. Fegans. Am I saying it wrong? Did I say Fegans?
I believe you did. It is Fegans. Yeah.
Fegans. Okay, my apologies there. Anquan Fegans. We appreciate that. Storm Restoration Roofing, we appreciate Greg from Pell City as well. 20 years locally owned. Our buddy Greg from Pell City there on a roof near you today, in between rain showers. Boy, if you've got 1 loose shingle, 2 loose shingles, 3 loose shingles, or 4, you may know that you've got a water entry point happening right now because it's rained a ton lately. Maybe you want to go check that attic, see if you got a problem, or better yet, just get Greg on that roof for a free no-cost roof inspection. That's what he'll do if you call that number, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. And the best part is Greg has a relationship with all the local insurance agents. That's going to help you out a lot. Gives you that free no-cost roof inspection, but also can handle storm repairs, roof replacements, and all that. But an honest, God-fearing, trustworthy guy who will give you an honest opinion about your roof there. That's what you get with Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Before we get too far deep into this opening segment, again, UAB on the field tomorrow, Alabama and Auburn later this week. I did want to mention in the football world the Riley Leonard news. They are going through physicals at Notre Dame. And when camps open Wednesday, the word comes out of South Bend today, Riley Leonard, 100% cleared and ready to go for the Fighting Irish.
Well, I'm sorry, Lance. It's massive because what might be their biggest game of the year. Now, I know they play Florida State later, and I'm not saying that A&M is going to be bigger than Florida State. Are better than Florida State. But what might be their biggest game of the year is right out of the chute, week 1. They had no time to ease Riley Leonard into this. If they beat Texas A&M, we have talked about it many times. They are in incredible shape going into November. They should be anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be undefeated if they win that game. And we talked about what a massive swing game that is for both sides and what both of those teams want to accomplish this year. If Notre Dame gets by A&M on the road, I just don't see how they –
it's hard to miss the playoffs at that point.
It's going to be really difficult to be worse than 10-2.
Yeah,
that's what Daniel says in the mybookie.ag chat room. Notre Dame feels like a playoff lock.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far yet, but I'm telling you, if they beat Texas A&M, it is going to be – they're going to really have to work to play their way out of it.
Yeah, and I just Riley Leonard and Mike Elko, you go back last year at Duke, and that's going to be interesting that Riley Leonard's going against his former coach in week 1.
Who's a defensive guy, right?
Defensive guy, yeah. Former defense coordinator at Notre Dame and Texas A&M. But if they would have beaten again, it was like 4th and forever, and Notre Dame converts and ends up scoring a touchdown, and they go up, and then Riley Leonard should have been in victory formation, and they should have gone to 6-0, and instead he has that injury that really ended his season prematurely. And you just wonder how different things would have been for Duke and Riley Leonard. I mean, they realistically, after beating Clemson in week 1, if they would have held on and beat Notre Dame, and at that point Notre Dame was a top 10 team, they could have played for the ACC championship.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's just the most favorable Notre Dame schedule you could find. They play 3 road games.
Three true road games.
That is 3 true road games. They're at Kyle Field.
That's a big one.
That's a tough one. No. That's what we're talking about. They're at Ross-Age Stadium at Purdue, which I don't consider a difficult place to play, but it has ended some number 1 teams' streaks for whatever reason.
Doesn't happen every time, but throughout my history of watching football, occasionally the high grass, probably turf now, catches you in West Lafayette.
And then they're at the Mausoleum, LA Coliseum against USC, final Saturday, rivalry Saturday. Those are the 3 road games they play all year long. They have got 3 road games. I mean, this is as beneficial a schedule as you could create for a team trying to go to the college football playoff.
God, how good would that USC Notre Dame setting at the Coliseum be if winner locks a playoff spot up, loser doesn't?
I said this when you were out. I really believe, first of all, first weekend has got major implications on swing games and how season shakes out for a lot of teams. But I think this final weekend will be one of the greatest weekends we've seen in the history of college football.
I agree. Rivalry weekend?
Yeah, because I think we are going to see 2, 3, 4 games that will decide teams whether or not they're getting to the playoff, and we never had that opportunity with only
that's right.
Back to the BCS and then a 4-team playoff.
Yeah, you would go into rivalry weekend with 4 teams, 4, 5, 6 teams maybe that had a shot at the playoffs. Maybe. And not all of them were playing a losable game. Like Georgia Tech wasn't a losable game for Georgia. There were times the Iron Bowl didn't seem to be a losable game for Alabama.
Well, you think about some of the chaos we had in the past. I think it was 1998 when A&M beat Kansas State, and I think UCLA beat Miami, and everything had to shake out where you got that Tennessee-Florida State matchup. And then again, I think it was 2006 where USC lost to UCLA and West Virginia lost to Pittsburgh. You had all of this chaos even back then just to get down to 2. Now you've got a 12-team field, so many more teams involved in this thing. I just think it's going to be insane. I can't wait.
Yeah, and it's not just teams getting the playoffs. It's in the top end, too, because you could have some games that knock a team out of a conference championship game, which then knocks them out of the chance at a top 4 seed. And another team moves into that spot. I mean, I agree with Lance. Rivalry Saturday, whatever the 12-team playoff has taken away from us, it's given us a far better rivalry Saturday.
You know you're close to football season when you get these kind of comments over in the chat room. Chris H., LSU fan. Underline LSU fan. Will there be a bigger collection of a-hole fans in one place in Notre Dame versus Texas A&M?
That's pretty funny. I could probably think of some combos that are worse than that. But,
we could do some combos down the road. Hey, listen, I used to never get sick. Now I get sick. It seems like a lot. One thing I hated missing this weekend was Odie's Fest. Another great event, 15 years of Odie Fest, and I hear it was such a huge success.
I honestly did not make it just based on the fact that I wasn't sure what the weather was going to do.
Rain is the best guess right now.
Yes, and young Jack had just gotten back in town, so we just kind of chilled on the couch. But I did talk to people that went. They said it was incredible. Again, there were 3 bands, 35 years in business. Not only the original in Crestline, but now the newest location right there in Edgewood. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Rodney Davis cooking up incredible food, award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. 2 locations. Get in today, Odie's Tavern.
Okay, Daniel asked, Lance, what do you think the Gators' final record will be? We'll do our official predictions as we get closer to the season, as we always do, the Friday before week 0, which is only 26 days away, 25 before our Guarantee Friday. We'll do that again, one of our favorite shows. That's not too far away. Lance will answer your question, Daniel, when we come back on the other side, and we'll do best and worst of the weekend. This is the next round being brought to you by our wonderful friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter @RockstarBHM.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trussville. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Hang out with the next round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the next round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Back with you on the next round, LTD&B with you. Trading deadline officially tomorrow in Major League Baseball. We'll keep an eye on that. Braves and Brewers today. White Sox lost their 14th straight yesterday. They're now amazingly 27-81. I don't know if I've ever seen that. They become the first team, Lance and Brownie, and more specifically Forrester on the back row, who's got his Sox hat on today, the first team to have multiple 14-game losing streaks in the same season since 1935.
Yeah, it's hard to do in baseball, man, to lose 14 consecutive games and do it twice.
I don't know if I've ever seen a 27-81, Forrester.
It's been pretty brutal. Sell the team, Jerry. Sell
the team he wants.
Yeah, the A's were there, right? The Mets were there way back when. Boy, it's tough, though.
Maybe, they're on their way to what? They're on pace for the 3rd worst season in Major League Baseball right now. I guess I'm just never have glanced down at this point in the season to see 27-81. It looks so bad.
What is the old saying? I tried to do this to Buster the other day. Everybody wins 40 and loses 40.
No. It's
what is it?
56, 56, and 56, isn't it?
I don't know.
It adds up to whatever, 162.
I always thought it was everybody wins 40, everybody loses 40, and it's what you do with the other 82 that matter.
No, it's split into thirds. Everybody wins.
Well, they ain't winning 56.
Yeah.
And I only brought that up because they're on pace right now to win 40 and a half games. I'm going to take the under based on the way they've been playing because, at some point they just start playing – they start playing call-ups, right?
Yeah, 54. Everybody wins 54, loses 54. It's what you do with the other 54.
They are not winning 54.
I say we contract the Sox, no offense. Forrester, I don't like 2 teams in one city. I don't care how big Chicago is. Don't care how big New York is.
So that comes from the guy who knows the Dodgers would beat out the Angels for LA.
I do know that.
And the Rams, I don't know.
And the
Rams
Rams
over the Chargers. Yeah.
and,
So the Mets
and the
should
Lakers
fold.
over the Clippers.
What?
So the Mets should fold.
Yeah. I mean, would it really?
In Lance's world.
I mean, the Sox and the Mets, if they disappeared, like went missing, abducted, would anybody care? Is there even an amber or silver alert on either?
Well, I would say the Sox have been missing for the last couple of seasons.
That's true. We've not noticed.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
I would tell you, I mean, Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area there, Oakland's on their way out. So
That's true.
It
It has
basically
worked.
is happening there.
At least that's two different cities, I guess, Anaheim and LA. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, not to get to 40 wins. And there's a shot they don't get to 40 wins. I mean, they're only on pace to win 40 right now.
That's right.
And again, they're about to trade people, presumably, and start playing call-ups. I mean, you got to think they're probably going to lose more. The call-ups may be better. I don't know. Maybe the call-ups come in and they're like, I'm playing so somebody else can see me.
Can't
honest to
do any
goodness.
worse than lose 14
Yeah.
consecutive games twice.
If you put Double-A Barons, farm team of the White Sox, in Chicago, would they be much worse than
I don't think
27
so.
and 81?
It'd be
probably
hard.
not.
It'd be hard to beat. Hard to beat.
I don't know.
Worse.
What are they in the Southern League?
Show being brought to you by Hemp Hill Services. They bring you best and worst of the weekend.
205-229-2090. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. If you have any of these issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys today, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right. So in the NFL world, we had some contracts that went down. And I think both of them happened after the show. Did y'all get with Jordan Love?
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Yeah, Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa both happened after the show on Friday. It went Tua first, and then it went Jordan. But we'll start with Jordan since he is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. 4 years, $220 million, $75 million of that on a signing bonus too. Gets $155 million guaranteed. Jordan Love got what he wanted to get.
Well, look, it's what the market bears. You know, if you're looking at it from this perspective, this is what is amazing about NFL quarterback money now. We know it's the most important position in all of sports. But Jordan Love, as good as he was in the second half of last season, and he was great, statistically the best quarterback in the NFL in the second half of last season, went on the road against Dallas in the playoffs, shredded them, but he's only been a starting quarterback for one full year. He is 13-16 as a starting quarterback in this league, and he is now the highest paid player in NFL history. He's got one playoff win.
I know. It really is insanity, but it's the most important position in all of sports. There's not a more important position in sports than starting quarterback in the NFL. So you're going to overpay for it, just based on that. I mean, if I tell you something is the most important thing in your life that you have to buy, Dunaway, whether it's life insurance or car insurance or
Home
groceries,
insurance, yeah.
groceries, a type of automobile where I could say you got to have this automobile, you're going to overpay for it, right? I mean, you're going to make sure you've got it because it's the most important thing to have. That's quarterbacks. And you're overpaying Jordan Love. And you're overpaying the next guy we're going to talk about. I know that too. But you're overpaying Jordan Love based on the numbers you just gave me.
Yeah,
But
look, and if Jordan Love ends up playing like he did in the second half of the season, then you don't, because I think Green Bay ultimately will win a Super Bowl. And I just saw somebody say Green Bay, G. Curbo. 3 quarterbacks since 1993. That's impressive. Not only 3 quarterbacks since 93. Brett Favre, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. Jordan Love, we'll see.
You're paying him like you expect him to be a Hall of Famer based on the way you're paying him.
I expect him, and I think it could happen this year. I think Green Bay's good enough to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl.
It's interesting the way they do it, too, because they only get 18 starts from Jordan Love before they have to pay him this big contract, but they do it like they did Aaron Rodgers. They let him sit there, mature, percolate, get some knowledge about the sport before they throw him out to the wolves to make him play. So they lose some starts, cheap starts with him, but they get a more seasoned quarterback that they have to pay earlier than some teams do.
But the other side of that coin is what Lance said, is when you end up having to pay him, you may not know 100% what you got. Like, he's been able to sit and learn behind Aaron Rodgers, and that's great. And when he got his shot, he looked good. But when you do the system you're talking about, which they did, you end up having to pay him his big contract, and you may not 100% know what you got.
Yeah,
which is what
look,
you're saying.
and if you don't roll the dice and pay him this type of money, then he can do exactly what Dak Prescott's going to do. Dak Prescott, if he stays healthy, is going to take himself into free agency, and he is going to break the bank.
That's right.
Because you're going to have a team like
anybody,
Las Vegas, or maybe if Carolina, if it doesn't work out with Bryce Young, you're going to have a team that is going to reach, that feels like the Atlanta Falcons last year. You saw what Kirk Cousins did. And Kirk Cousins was in a different situation, but he rode it out through free agency more so because Minnesota really didn't want him.
Giants.
And he broke the bank. Yeah, the Giants could be one of those teams, one of those suitors. But Dak will be able to choose where he wants to go, and he's going to make, I don't know, 65, 70 a year.
Yeah, any franchise that thinks I'm only a pretty good or good quarterback away from contending for a Super Bowl will pay Dak whatever he wants.
Well, can you imagine this? If Dak was, and this salary is going to continue, salary cap is going to continue to go up in the NFL with where the dollars are. But if Dallas was to win a Super Bowl this year and Dak is a free agent,
there's zero chance if he wins the Super Bowl, you can let him get a free agency.
The MVP, and I mean, it could just be completely crazy.
He'd break the bank. You just cannot let a Super Bowl winning quarterback get to free agency. Jerry would have to pay him whatever he wants at that point.
Yeah, Dak is a Saints, says Vol Fan 205. Dak is a guy who right now is starting. The longer this goes on, if he doesn't get one before the season starts, could be a guy who
I don't think he is.
He could be a guy like in the Jerry Maguire movie. Just says, "Hey, man, let's let it ride, and at the end, see what I get at the end."
Well, if you're Mike McCarthy, you probably don't care because you got him this year, and it's do or die, and more than likely, Mike McCarthy's going to be out.
It's his last year of his contract.
You know, if you're Jerry and Stephen Jones, you kick yourself because we've been talking about this Dak deal for a couple of years now, and you probably could have locked him in for $30 or $35 million a year a couple of years ago.
But they don't know what they got, I think.
I think you got good enough.
Yeah, I think most franchises go for good enough, and I think Jerry knows his time is limited and he can't settle for good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do.
Okay, but these quarterbacks that have locked in recently, from Trevor Lawrence to who we're just talking about, Jordan Love to Tua Tagovailoa, I mean, who's the better quarterback? Like, I think Dak's better than Trevor. I think Dak's better than Tua, at least accomplishment. And, you know, I saw a minute for Jordan Love, but I've seen it consistently over a long time from Dak.
See, I kind of agree with you. Of those four, Dak's the one I trust the most, but I've seen more of him also.
Hey, it seems like Dak's good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, he is.
It seems like that, but boy, he's had a lot of opportunities, hadn't done it.
Yeah.
I mean, Dak or Brock Purdy. I mean, Brock Purdy could have won a Super Bowl last year.
That's right. And look, San Francisco is about to have to do this. San Francisco is about to have, and I know we haven't talked about Tua yet, but San Francisco is about to have to decide, do I want to start over at quarterback and keep all my parts, or do I want to invest in quarterback and risk losing some of these parts? San Francisco is about to have to make that decision with him. It'll be fascinating to see.
Yeah, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, boy, I'd ride Brock Purdy into the ground on his $1 million a year, or whatever it is, till the contract's up. Let him go to free agency because it's all about what is surrounding him.
So you would take plan.
I would play the Dak. I would play the Dak strategy that Dallas has with Brock Purdy in San Francisco.
Interesting. So
just take best quarterback on the market at that point.
I would.
Yeah, keep all my parts and just keep drafting quarterback every 4 or 5 years.
You may end up with Baker Mayfield, though.
I don't know how much of a difference there would be with Baker Mayfield in San Francisco.
Baker Mayfield in San Francisco?
No, I'm just saying the Baker Mayfield, like Tampa Bay ended up with Baker Mayfield. You may end up with a Baker Mayfield-like player.
I don't know if that matters.
Well, I mean, like if San Francisco was able to do what the Falcons did and go get a veteran late in his career like Kirk Cousins, somebody like that, I mean, you're in great shape at that point.
Yeah, I think you can pay 50 cents on the dollar for a quarterback for San Francisco with the roster right now.
That's right, and that's what they're about to have to decide to do.
Will says San Francisco is going to let Ayuk go.
Well, see, then that indicates that they're probably going to go Brock
Ayuk
Purdy.
wants to go.
He does, but
I'd lock him in.
Again, that's what you've got. You've got Ayuk, you've got McCaffrey, you've got all those great defensive players, and you can't just keep all those and Brock Purdy at the rate you're going to have to pay him.
We'll get to Tua Tagovailoa after LT tells us about our friends at Hydra Live. Listen, we talk about IVs all the time. I may seriously be by there after the show today just to reset my body.
Well, there is a outside shot that Hydra Live is coming by tomorrow. I had a conversation yesterday with them. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost the immune system, and much more. Ask about memberships. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Basically, recoup that IV membership in just one visit with the free IV bag every single month. Hydra Live Therapy, open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. This brand is growing wherever you hear us. Ask. I know there's 2 in Birmingham. There's 1 in Tuscaloosa, but it is growing. If you mention the next round, 20% off any of those great services. For more information, hydralivetherapy.com.
Okay, again, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to college football and everything going on there. And I asked the guys a question. Talking season has ended now. Camps open up this week. What 5 teams are in better shape after that have been talked into a better situation than they were going into talking season. They're going to give me 5 teams. We're going to write them on the dry erase board. That's at the top of the hour coming up. But more contract stuff right now with Tua Tagovailoa. 4 years, $212.4 million. But the best part for Tua Tagovailoa and his family, $167 million of it is guaranteed money. So as he goes out there with all of his health concerns, he knows he's got $167 million in the bank, guaranteed money.
It's crazy. You know, we didn't really know what the long-term viability was of Tua Tagovailoa in this league, and he finally makes it 17 games last year and goes to the postseason. I heard, and I'm looking at Ryan Clark right now on ESPN this morning, talking about Tua Tagovailoa. Is he going to be able to play playoff games in Miami and the Super Bowl in Miami?
Yeah. So the Dolphins, probably their best path to a Super Bowl is either the 1 seed in home field, or you pray that the 1 seed is Houston or Indianapolis.
Dome stadiums.
Or the Chargers or somebody like that, where you can play in a better climate or in a dome. It just does not seem like they can go to Kansas City or Buffalo or the Jets or any of those places like that in the postseason and survive. It just doesn't feel like they can do that. I watch, trust me, I watch them every time they go to cold weather. It's not a pretty sight.
No, and I think Tua's a good quarterback, but you've got to have a quarterback that can win in all elements, and you got to have a quarterback that can stay healthy. Now, if he's able to stay healthy this year, maybe we drop the narrative. But, you know, last year was kind of the outlier. And you guys are watching. That was one of the cringiest things I've said when Tua went on mic at Dolphins training camp.
I got it. Let's play it. I don't have it.
So cringy.
Cut 7, please, for me. Forrester showed me this. I had missed it over the weekend. Now, Saturday is a big around the league. The NFL does. Big fans. Fans come to practice a lot. But Saturday was a big day, and the Dolphins got a huge crowd out. And it was right after Tua got his contract. Here is the former Alabama quarterback on the mic.
Listen to the crowd yelling his name, Dunaway.
That's more than Miami gets for a home college game.
It's a big Jerry Maguire fan.
So cheesy. What if he would have turned his ankle right when he was doing that?
That would have been awful. We'd have cried about that.
You got bricklayers, you got insurance agents, and he's show me the money. I haven't won a playoff game for you guys yet, but I got $53 million a year coming in.
Len, my believer, says he got dared to do it by his teammates to go over there and do the show me the money.
That's what I would have told him. All right, so a little bit the opposite of Jordan Love in this one, Lance. 32 and 51 starts, 32 and 19. That's actually a really good record for an NFL quarterback. 32 and 19 and 51 starts. Now, and he's led the league in passing at least one year. Last year he led the league in passing.
Okay.
Career-wise for Tua, when you look at the touchdown and interception, he's thrown 81 touchdowns, 37 interceptions. That's pretty good.
Better than 2 to 1, yeah.
Better than 2 to 1. He's already thrown for 12,000 yards in the league. I mean, there's a lot to like there.
I would love to see.
There are 2 things that were real quick. There are 2 things that worry you. Number one, only once has he played a full season for you. Injury has been an issue. There's no debating that.
Luckily, it's the last one, though.
Yep, it's the one going into the contract was the one where you got 18 games out of him, 17 regular season, and a playoff game. And that's the other concern. He's quarterbacked in exactly 1 playoff game. It was a loss, and he did not play well.
It was below freezing wind chill.
But you're going to have to do that in the AFC as long as Kansas City's good.
I would love to see.
But no human
I agree.
Plays their best in that. Patrick Mahomes didn't play his best that night.
But he did not. But again, Lance, if you're in the AFC, you're going to have to be prepared to win at Baltimore in January or Kansas City in January.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do one of those.
Even I know we forgot about Buffalo, but Josh Allen is one of these quarterbacks that still does it in the cold. I would love to see Tua's record against teams when the temperature is 40 or below.
I might can find that.
And against teams better than 500.
Okay, here's my hot take. We will not play another NFL game again when the wind chill is below 0.
I don't disagree with that, but
I think they'll postpone the games from now on.
But, I mean, I think if it had been below 30 degrees, it's the same thing. They just don't perform well in that situation. I've seen them do it at Buffalo. I've seen them do it now at Kansas City. And that's the thing. And I didn't intentionally leave Buffalo out of that mix. They have to go play there at least once a year, sometimes twice, Lance. But if you're in the AFC, you've got to be prepared to win at Kansas City, Baltimore, or Buffalo in the postseason. Those are all really good teams. And they're going to have crappy weather in January. And Miami's not built for that. So Miami's path to Tua being in a Super Bowl is either, like I said, be the 1 seed or hope a dome team is the 1 seed. Or pulls an upset and you have to go to the dome team. I mean, that's your path right now until you can prove otherwise.
So Tua's got his contract, and so does Jordan. We're waiting on Dak.
Yeah, can I just say this, though, Lance, about the Tua contract? I'm interested in where you stand. You said what you would do with Brock Purdy. I've always maintained if you find a quarterback that's in the top half of the league, you marry that guy. Because the other option is you let him walk and you go back to the draft, which is a complete crapshoot. You can easily get a guy that's in the bottom half of the league in a draft. So I think Tua's the top half of the league quarterback easily. So I think you had to marry him.
Well, where you selected him, what he did last year, he stayed healthy. You've got to. Yeah.
I mean, you really had no other choice here.
And Miami's got a good roster. It doesn't have an elite roster like San Francisco. So I think San Francisco's just in a little bit of a different situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you got to pay Tua.
Yeah. I mean, I think this was almost a no-brainer deal for Miami.
NFL camp's full and going this week. We go games Thursday night, right?
Thursday night, yep. We've got the Texans and the Bears Hall of Fame game.
That's right. So it all gets going.
Can't wait.
With a Hall of Fame game Thursday night. UAB opens up camp tomorrow. Emily Grace McWhorter will be down there to start the show for us tomorrow. She'll join us live from UAB camp. Alabama and Auburn a little bit later on this week as camps and football season is going. Talking season's over. Our friends at Johnston RV, if you want to be part of the tailgate brigade for your favorite team this year, you start by calling our buddies at Johnston RV Center.
I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV. They have repriced both of those lots, and they will beat any price in America nationwide. That is the guarantee. Bring them a price on a comparable RV. They will beat it at Johnston RV Center. Also, they'll make sure you've got that lifetime warranty from RV Warranty Forever on anything new or qualifying used. Johnston RV Center is where you find all of that. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and you can always find them online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
I want to give a shout out to our Meltdown guys, Lunceford and Melton and Tyler and the whole crew that gathers every day at 2:00 to do pop culture things. Because I couldn't keep my head up a lot, but I tried to listen to bits and pieces of all the stuff going out, the Pennant Grace and Taylor predicting what next great Auburn thing is going to happen on Uncorked, and this show and the Meltdown as well. And I'm sitting there, and last week I hear a prediction that Robert Downey Jr. was going to jump back in to the Marvel world. And then this weekend in San Diego, Robert Downey Jr. shows up, and just like the Meltdown guys projected, Dr. Doom is coming back. Is excitement behind the glass for Dr. Doom and Marvel's Avengers Doomsday.
Aren't you so excited?
Well, it was your best and worst of the weekend, Lunceford. I need you to explain that, please.
So, I know none of y'all have seen it. Maybe Lance. In Avengers Endgame, which is the end of like the big main saga that Marvel did with Disney, Iron Man sacrifices himself to save the world, and that's Robert Downey Jr. So,
who wouldn't do that for the 12?
I know, just like Jim would. And so he snapped the stones, and everybody came back, and everything was happy, and he killed himself. But it was like this huge sacrifice. Nerds were crying everywhere, and it was like a great on-screen death. And so then it's been like everything's been bad since then. So what do? You bring back the old people. Deadpool did it with a lot of people this past weekend, and Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are the two. Do you bring it back or do you not as Captain America and Iron Man? And it was rumored. I love looking into leaks and spoilers. So I already knew it was happening, but they officially announced it. And could it be done great? Yes. Could it be done awful and ruin the legacy they built with him? Also, yes. So
good and bad for you.
It will make a ton of money either way, but it could be a massive disaster or it could be
Robert Downey
awesome.
Jr. has carved out one heck of a career.
He really has. I mean, going from basically his struggles with addiction
I know.
And where he was in the 80s. He did some interesting work in the 80s from, Lesson Zero, Weird Science. Yeah. He was all over the place. And then to become an A-lister like he did.
Yeah. Tyler, do you like the Dr. Doom thing, or are you the same place with Lunceford?
Similar place as Lunceford. It depends on how they do it. I think he'll be a version of Tony Stark that turns into Dr. Doom, and they kind of acknowledge that he used to be Stark. Because Dr. Doom typically doesn't show his face ever because it's all scarred and burned up.
Yeah, man, they just showing the Comic-Con unveiling there, and look at those people.
So nobody knew that was Robert Downey Jr.
They jumped.
Oh, it's one of the biggest pops I've ever seen. Yeah. It was incredible.
Yeah, those people started jumping up like it was Taylor Swift.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, went crazy there.
That's good for Robert Downey Jr.
People are screaming in their mom's basement.
Robert! Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedic, they're your provider to get you back into the game. Tweaks and pulls and pains and breaks, they'll take care of you. From Jasper to Alabaster and all over the Birmingham metro area, they will take care of you. Diagnose, treat, and rehab. Call this number, 205-512-3885, 205-512-3885, to find a Precision Sports Medicine or an orthopedic care location near you, part of the great Brookwood Baptist Health family. The website is precisionsportsortho.com/2024. precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Orthopedic care so better together. Find your provider today. Again, I trust my family with them. I trust my own health care with them. So does LT. You should too. 205-512-3885. Sports injuries, they take care of it. Anything when it comes to the tweaks, the breaks, the pulls, and the pains. precisionsportsortho.com/2024. More of the best and worst of the weekend over in the mybookie.ag chat room. Brownie, what do we have?
Well, Scott is now making the show, I guess, unanimous in his hatred for college football 2025.
Yep.
His best as he played the first game of EA college football, beat his daughter's boyfriend. Worst, the gameplay of EA college football. There again, Scott is on it.
I will tell you, I was off work Thursday, Friday, did very little Saturday and Sunday, and I played the game twice. And in the past, I would have played 3 seasons.
Right.
As laid up as I was. I played it twice for a total of about 50 minutes. There's no way that you can play cover 4 where you're dropping 4 DBs is basically a prevent defense and have them throw over the top of you anytime they want to. It's the gameplay is horrific. Horrific.
I just cannot believe everybody has waited this long for this game to come out, and it's getting panned so bad.
Yeah, so did they rush the game? I mean,
my
it seems
God,
like
they've
it was
had
on hiatus
forever.
for years
Yes.
and years and years. But I'm just wondering how you don't get this right with technology.
I don't think they rushed it. I think they very much tried to make it different than Madden in some ways. And in some ways, there's some cool stuff to it. And in some ways, it's an absolute disaster.
Well, they get all the feel of college football spot on. It's amazing.
That's what they were worried about. And they knocked that out of the
like
park.
atmosphere and all that, yeah. But the gameplay suffered.
The game is horrible.
Okay.
It was a horrible game. Bobby.
The visuals are amazing.
Yeah.
But I never
playing defense in that game is
awful.
Ridiculous.
But the gameplay in the past I thought was great.
It was.
So why would you just not implement the old gameplay with the new atmospheres if that's what they were worried
And
about?
if you own Madden, why don't you just use the Madden gameplay and put all the bells and whistles? It makes 0 sense. And I was so excited because I had an update. Because I did it the way you did it. You told me to do it, not to buy the hard game, to do the link because you get the updates. I did the update, and nothing is any better. Nothing is any better.
Brian's best, beach volleyball under the Eiffel Tower and running horses on the grounds of the Palace at Versailles.
Yeah.
Wow.
I watched some of that, Brownie. People were saying, sorry, Rose Bowl, we now have a better backdrop in sports than you. And I was like, let's tap the brakes here. It's beach volleyball in a man-made sandbox at the base of the Eiffel Tower.
I did not watch 1 minute of the Olympics this weekend. I'm going to assume Brown did not.
I did not. I'm not a big Olympics guy. They just don't really do it for
What
me.
did they do in the opening
Yeah,
ceremony?
boy, that was controversial.
My
Apparently a bunch of cross-dressers doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but I don't like, how do you pitch that idea and everybody's like, let's roll with it.
You're in France.
Again, you've got time, just much like the new EA game. You had 4 years to prepare this.
It seems like they put a lot of thought into it. Gaston's best, his softball daughter, was in the Nationals something, 18 UPGF, whatever. It's in California, and he meets Kayla DeBoer there, who was there watching his daughter.
Yeah, he sent a picture. I should have passed it along. Do you have the picture, Forrester?
Yeah, Kayla DeBoer says, he asked him if he knows me or should he'd know me. He said, no, I just listened to the next round. Says a really nice guy.
Keep going, Brandon. The Bobby one is the one that this was one of I don't stay on top of who's in concert, when they're in concert, but there were 2 concerts Saturday and Sunday night that I wish I'd gone to both of them at the amphitheater.
So Bobby's best, easily Hootie and the Blowfish concert. Their covers of Losing My Religion and Interstate Love Song are fantastic. They have to do covers because they only really did one good album.
I love those songs. I just don't like Hootie and the Blowfish.
At all? Like there's nothing that you like at all?
Okay, but think that, Darius Rucker can still sing those songs. So the problem when you have retro bands out touring is sometimes they can't hit the notes.
Right.
He can still sing those songs. And then you had Collective Soul opening for him. I think Third Eye Blind was here over the weekend as well.
Yeah, it was a pretty good 90s concert. I was unaware of it, but...
Yeah, I love the 90s. Yeah. I mean, the 90s are my genre, country, rap,
yeah.
rock.
I was out at the golf course Saturday, and some of the guys had been, and they were talking about how good a show it was.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember who the third one was. I don't think it was Third Eye Blind. It was Collective Soul, Hootie, and one other 90s rock group.
Yeah, Third Eye Blind was by itself on Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah.
So I guess 90s rock making the tours. I like all those groups.
Why not?
Yeah. I saw a video of Hootie singing one of his, or Darius Rucker singing one of his songs.
Let Her Cry?
Might have been. I can't remember which one it was. But he still sounds, again, I don't know that. Going back, you think Elton John wishes he had written songs?
Yeah, but I don't think like Hootie, correct me if I'm wrong, he seemed more like like band party band.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't think there wasn't really any challenging. Like, were his vocals? Did he have a lot of range?
No.
Yeah.
That's
why I would think that he could still.
That's
do
my point, though.
Did.
I saw them in a club when they were selling the $10 cassette tapes in the back.
Yeah.
Up in Columbia in '93 before Cracked Rear View broke.
Right, you're convinced that's him, right? That you saw in Columbia. You know 100% that was Hootie and the Blowfish. And
I had for a brief period of time. I had that little cassette tape. The Hold Hold Your Hand. was on there, but it was
Hold My Hand. Yeah.
Hold My Hand.
Yep.
But it was a lot faster. and
Dunaway is
jacked
the
up.
perfect market for those bands that sell out of their trunk.
That's right.
The comedian in the parking lot. That guy made me laugh for 10 minutes. I'm buying his stuff.
Oh, I used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
LT.
You just saw his best 10 minutes he's ever done.
And I had more than 2 beers in me. Of course, I had more than 2 beers.
I don't know if I've ever bought like something like that on the fly.
I don't think I have. You know, growing up, you used to have, like in church, you know, the musician would come by, and he'd sing a couple special musics at church, and then, I just so happened to have a few tapes out in my car. Now, I don't feel any pressure.
That's right. Just happened to have some.
Yeah, I just happened to have some.
Yeah. And some signage. And a table.
Yeah, if you guys, I'll just set a table up here and sell whatever I can.
Much more of the best and worst of the weekend. Here's that picture. Who was the guy that met DeVore?
Gaston.
Yeah, this is Gaston right here at a softball game with Kalen DeVore. Where was he?
California.
In California.
Yeah, our boy Spisto was over this weekend, and he had that softball game, and I was like, I understand you love softball because your daughter, you know, she just got a scholarship or whatever, but she's not playing in this game. And he was like, well, I actually coach some of these girls. And he was kind of explaining that it was a tournament out in California.
Yeah.
And then he was telling me about, did you guys see the transfer from Stanford that went to Texas Tech?
Scott was talking about that the other day. Got $1.5 million.
Yeah, the pitcher.
Yeah, 1.2 to 1.5, and the highest before that was like $200,000.
Yeah.
Like, how can you get that money back softball-wise?
You cannot. I mean, you absolutely will never make that money back.
It's a big booster that said, "We want to. I love softball. I want to win at softball.
I want to win a championship. I got to have a good picture. Pitcher. Here she is.
But who's the Texas Tech booster? He's a big restaurant guy, right?
No, you always confuse that. That's Houston's. I think Texas Tech. There's a name Jones on the stadium. I don't know who the guy is, but I think he's their big booster.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, man, if I'm part of the football program, I'm like, you can pay a softball pitcher $1.5 million. What are we going to do for my quarterback?
That's where he says, I tell you what, Sonny, I'll spend my money where I want to. I don't know why he wants to do that, Lance, but obviously he does.
My oil money is going to help this softball girl right now. Edwin McCain was the other person there.
Yep.
And he's only got one song, right?
That I remember. Woodhouse Day Spa has a lot of tricks up their sleeve, though, to relax you, get you all calm for another work week.
Hey, treat that special someone to the gift of luxury from Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers right off of Highway 280. They've got a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa voted the Birmingham and America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Or get in, see Stuart and all the fine folks at the Summit. Tell them the next round sent you.
Bobby says Darius' voice, still fantastic. Collective Soul Singer's voice, not so much. I did notice that in some of the online posting that, what was it, Shine Down or something like that, whichever one of one of their first Let It Shine. I can't remember what their first big hit.
Shine.
And I was like,
that's my favorite Collective Soul song, and it was not good.
It was not. Did not sound like the CD.
You like December?
Yeah. Turn your head and spit it out. It's good.
Collective Soul's got some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I thought you didn't like them.
I don't. I
Breakup song?
Used to love them.
Yeah.
And then Lisa Black left me. When we come back, college football, we're going to write down 5 teams who, through talking season, the last 16 days of media days, now the perception around the country is they're actually going to be better than most people thought going into talking season. 5 teams whose stock has gone up when we come back on TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 equal housing lender.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. Well, we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Our friends at Long Use Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Long Use offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Long Use offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Long Use sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Long Use has to offer you.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show here with LTD&B behind the glass. Rockstar off today, a little under the weather. It doesn't sound like it's what I had, thankfully. Which was, I was afraid that I was going to check in on Thursday and Friday and there'd be nobody up here. Tyler's in for Rockstar on the front row now today, not on the back row. Very back, though, is Lunceford and Forster, as always, handling everything in the very back row back there. Taylor has got everything social media at Next Round Live, at Next Round Live. I think she's going to Anquan Fagan's announcement later today in Alabaster. The big 4-star safety is expected to pick Auburn a little bit later today. We're also expecting 5-star running back A.K. Deere to make a commitment today. Alabama fans hopeful he'll pick Alabama. Big Cat weekend this past weekend. Taylor had you covered everything on social media there if you want to go check that out. We announced earlier our kickoff party is happening coming up August the 15th. Brownie, again, tell us the details about that one.
August 15th, Stadium Trace walk-ons. We'll start around 5:30, but you guys always get there early. We'll be there early hanging out. And we'll go until, I think the official end time is 9 o'clock. Am I right about that? 9 o'clock?
That's normally when they shut it down.
We normally go late.
8-ish, 9-ish is what I've been telling people.
Go late. Listen, it's for the audience. We'll do whatever you guys want us to do within reason. So we'll hang out there and have a good time. Walk on Stadium Trace 150 just off 459. August 15th. It's a Thursday night.
It's a Thursday night.
So you barely even have to work the next day. I mean, you could take a day off the next day if you wanted to.
We'll have exhibition football on that night, that Thursday night.
I would have to imagine.
NFL game, so it'll be a lot of fun. EG is out in the main room. Emily Grace McWhorter, she'll start camp tours tomorrow. She'll be at UAB tomorrow to start our show, as they've got an open viewing period from 9 to 9:30, and the Blazers will start their camp tomorrow, and camp's starting all over college football as the week progresses. All glad to be here with you today, and hope you're having a great Monday here on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at A+. Tell us about A+.
A+ Tile Home Remodeling. That is my man Brad Bell, and that is who redid the master bath in my house. When it came time to redo the master bath, my wife scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. She talked to contractors. She read reviews on contractors, talked to certain people that had used contractors, and Brad Bell was the man she chose. Here is his number, 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. What he specializes in, Scott will show you photos of the before and after of the master bath in my house and Lance's house. But what he specializes in is master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's important because you use those rooms a lot, so you're going to enjoy them while you own the house. But when you sell your home, you're going to make some money back on those, maybe all your money back on those. Brad is the key to that. That's what he specializes in. Now, he does anything, but he specializes in those things anywhere in Alabama. 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A-Plus Tile, Home Remodeling.
All right, so here's my question. I'll try to, phrase it correctly again for you. 5 teams that, after we've heard all the media days talk through talking season, the talk is they're going to end up being better than we thought they were going to be before it started. Means nothing. Talking season means nothing. But the perceptions of teams seem to change during those 16 days of media days around the country. And I wanted to see what 5 teams you think the perception has changed a little bit on. LT, start us off.
I mean, these are kind of obvious, but I'll start with Texas A&M. Maybe not obvious for A&M. But people start to talk about Elko's ability to coach. Jimbo kind of tapped out towards the end, knew the end was inevitable. A&M's got Jimbo's roster with a better coach. People are talking about A&M could be a sleeper to make a college football playoff. Miami, there was a lot of hype going into it, but when people really start to look around the ACC and who's going to win the ACC with what they've got coming in with Cam Ward and in year 3 for Mario Cristobal, Ole Miss, the narrative now is they finally have the horses up front. They can do it on the offensive line, the defensive line. They didn't have that in the past. This is Lane Kiffin's best roster. Oregon. We knew Oregon was going to be good, making the transition to the Big Ten. I think people were a little hesitant, and then the more you look at the overall talent in the Big Ten, Oregon might be the best team in the Big Ten. And then Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame, when you talk about Riley Leonard, finally getting the clean bill of health. Notre Dame's another one of these teams, when you break down the schedule, 10-2 seems like a worst-case scenario for Notre Dame.
5 winners in talking season. I would say Texas A&M is the one of your list there that seems to improve tremendously in the 16 days.
Yeah, everybody else had some hype. I was going to put, I won't take anything away. But
go ahead, Brownie. Who you got?
Well, it's going to be a lot of crossover to Lance. I did have Texas A&M number 1 on mine. I think they are the big winner. The big difference between mine and Lance's, I'm going to add Colorado. I think Colorado, it seems like they never leave talking season. Seems like they're always in talking season.
Yep.
And now this summer, you've had people talk about them competing for the Big 12 championship, which I find insane.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that think Colorado could compete for the Big 12.
I mean, we talk on the show that they're fighting to win 4.
Yeah.
But now in talking season, they're the EA Sports game all of a sudden comes out and they're really good in that game, which we proved is not very good. And then boom, you've got people talking about them winning the Big 12. It makes no sense. There is no gap between teams, the expectation between a team, than what we have of Colorado in public perception. I think it's huge.
But I don't know if it's. I really don't know what the public perception is. Like, I don't know what it is. And Klatt, look, I respect the heck out of Klatt, and I don't think he just says it because he went to Colorado like a lot of people do. But Klatt looks at it and says, "I think they could compete for the Big 12." And he's not alone in saying stuff like that. I think the general consensus is what we say is that they're going to go. Like, if we did a national vote, I think the national vote would be 3 or 4 wins.
Well, I would just say this. I think the Big 12 is going to be much improved. Colorado's offensive line giving up 52 sacks last year was horrendous. How Shedeur Sanders stayed upright was a miracle. Now, they're saying the offensive line is going to be much improved. If it is, Shedeur is a good enough quarterback. If he has protection, he could take games over. And we've seen quarterbacks in college football single-handedly win games themselves. So if the offensive line's really improved, the Big 12, I think it's going to be better than advertised. But, if that does get fixed, things could get interesting. But I'll believe it when I see it.
I will too. I think they're probably 2 and 3 out of the chute, and the Big 12 is almost out of your grasp at that point.
Do you think people pull for or against Colorado?
I think it's a. I think
they're a polarizing team.
I think it's like politics. You have extremes on both sides. There are people who cheer against them, people who cheer for them, and I would imagine there's 58% of Americans who don't care.
Like, it's weird, Lance. I was kind of tired of all the hype last year, but in that TCU game, they were playing so hard and so well. I found myself pulling for them in the game against TCU.
And when you see a guy like Travis Hunter that doesn't come off the field.
Yeah, I was like, man, this team is playing all out. And I started pulling for them in that game.
Yep. And then after that game, I was not cheering for them in the next 2 weeks.
That was the next one, Colorado State. That was the very next one, right?
Or was the next one Nebraska?
The next one was Nebraska, then Colorado State.
Yeah.
And then things got real with Oregon.
Obviously, Nebraska, we've got a rooting interest there. We all love Matt Rule, so I was all in on Nebraska in that one. Colorado State, I didn't really care, but
hell of a game.
It was a fantastic game. I just remember watching it and enjoying the game.
I mean, it's funny. You look back at last season, Colorado, those 3 games at the start of the season, probably they would have been high on my enjoyment meter all season long. I enjoyed the heck out of all 3 of those games.
I thought the most entertaining game I might have saw the entire college football season involved Colorado, and it was that late Friday night against Stanford, where Colorado was up like 35-0. Stanford comes back and wins in double overtime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joshua Carty makes that winning field goal. By the way, Rams starting kicker this year.
That was one of those I gave up on, though, at halftime. It was 30. Did you say 35-0? Is that right?
I stayed through it because there was a second-half play on it is the only reason I stayed up. But if that would have been a game between, I don't know, give me 2 more teams that were actually competitive last year that – I mean, if it would have been LSU, Florida State, that would have gone down as the best game in college football.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great comeback there. Mine, these are all teams that should have some flaws, but as we talked all summer long, it seems like their flaws have gone away. First, Washington. This is not going to be a shell of this team from last year. We have them.
You and I are totally different on this.
21.
But you're saying people are hyping them up?
They've talked them into being a not a contender, but like a 9-win team.
I think it's been talked the other way, personally, because, Washington, a team that played for the national championship, when Jed Fish spoke last week, they've lost 21 of 22 starters.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got 42 new faces there. So I think when the media heard that, they're like, we got no expectation for Washington.
Virginia Tech, they've been talked into ACC championship contender.
I think they're going to be good.
Yeah. USC, they've got to show us some defense, right, at some point?
I haven't heard anything about USC.
I think most people think USC. They were picked 6th.
Oh, Alabama's replaced the greatest coach of all time, and we were acting like they're shooing for the playoffs.
Who?
We were saying
you got really dehydrated when you were gone, didn't you?
I'm telling you, I did.
Nobody's talking Washington, SC, or Alabama. I was talking last week with Luke about how underrated Alabama is.
That's true, yeah.
Where is Alabama underrated?
Well, for the first
they're
time,
going to be number 4 in the AP poll when they come out.
You tell me the last time Alabama was 3rd coming out of SEC Media Days.
Saban.
Yeah, but they're 4th in the nation.
Yeah, but I haven't heard anybody. Everybody's talking about more people are hyping Ole Miss than Alabama.
People are acting like Alabama will not miss the playoffs.
I haven't heard.
And I'm not
that.
saying they will, but we're making it sound like this transition is going to be easy.
You and I are listening to different people.
And then SMU, they're moving to the Atlantic Coast Conference, and we're acting like they're going to move in and just, hey, no big deal. Up from the American, right into the ACC, no problem.
Yeah, that's what Texas A&M did in the SEC. I think SMU's got the ability to do that. I think that they are a dark horse sleeper in the ACC. If SMU didn't make the transition to the ACC, if they were still in the American, they would be everyone's pick to be the New Year's Six from the Group 5.
Winners of the talking season.
Washington's win total is 6.5. If you want to stake bet that one.
Yeah, that's about where I have them. 6.
Okay, sounds like you're over.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in Washington right now.
Yeah, I don't either. That, like you said, I think it's the same number as Alabama, just different personnel. 40-plus different players on the team this year and an entirely new coaching staff.
Yeah, and really, Jed Fish has had one really good year as a head coach.
Yeah, we did put a lot of faith in him in 1 year at Arizona.
Yeah, and he left. He didn't leave everybody behind. He took some of the Arizona kids with him, but left a lot back in Arizona.
Tried to take them all.
He tried to take them all. Why wouldn't you? Arizona is another team that people just think, oh, no problem, man. We're just going to slide right into the Big 12 and we're going to be just as good as we were last year. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. New York Butcher Shop. Tell us about the great folks there.
I got some of those goat cheese, the goat cheese mashed potatoes, and a great prime filet Friday night. Just fantastic stuff from our friend Jim. Had an opportunity to catch up with him and his great staff. Chef-prepared entrees, side dishes, perfect dinner to go with some of the best prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you. They've got a great selection of fine wines and desserts. Got one of those slices of cheesecake. Fantastic. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Small stadium anyway at Duke? Small stadium?
I would say you've been there, 50,000.
Wallace Wade Stadium, I would say smaller than that. I'd say 42,000.
What's your guess, Dunaway?
I think it got up to, I'm going to say it was 45 when I was there, 42, and I think it got up to 50 last year.
40,000 4 people is what it holds currently.
Okay. I wonder if that's after the retraction. They've taken 5,000 seats away for this. Excuse the name. It's the Devil's Deck.
I mean, I had to look twice. The way that the font they chose on that E right there.
Yep.
You need to go heavier E font there, my friends.
The Devil's Deck is coming
this plank out there
this year. 1,500 fans. They took away 5,000 seats to build the Devil's Deck, the all-inclusive add-on to your game ticket right there. All you can eat, tailgate food, and non-alcoholic beverages. Yard games, in-game DJ, exclusive access to open standing and seating areas within the deck there. It's at the end of the stadium there. It is the Devil's Deck that's taking away 5,000 seats to an already small stadium at Duke.
In-game DJ, wasn't it Saturday in the Park, Chicago, that they were playing over the loudspeakers?
Dunaway always says this is my takeaway for that stadium.
As they walked out of the shrubbery onto the field to do warm-ups. Not the intro, not the big last time they run on, but as they walked out, they played Saturday in the Park when I was there with Alabama.
Everybody's trying. I mean, I think everybody realizes the battle to get people to still come to your games is more ferocious than it's ever been.
So I'm finishing out an office at the house, and one of the reasons is because the viewing is so much better at home. Now that we've got the quad box on YouTube TV, I got a TV just for the office, a 50-inch, and I probably will just have it on when we're doing some podcasts and stuff. What do you think I paid for a 50-inch?
$350.
$198.
$198.
So I'm just saying, you can get 85-inch TVs for like $600 now.
I mean, that is not even the price of a family to go to a game. $198. That's well below the price of a family to go to one game, and you can watch them all there. It's just, it is so interesting that the thing that has made college football the second biggest sporting product in the country,
the fans, the atmosphere.
Well, the TV money.
Oh, okay.
Is the thing that they're now having to combat right now to keep fans at the stadium.
To me, what always separated college football from the NFL, and I know there's great fan bases in the NFL, but the passionate game day experience at the rivalry games, the way the on-campus stadiums looked for big upsets, the rushing of the field and all that, you just can't do that in the pros with 17, soon to be 18 NFL games.
I'll tell you what you're going to have to do, like going back to Duke, and we know how passionate that fan base is for basketball. And camping out for days on days to actually get into Cameron Indoor to watch a game, you're going to have to find a way to really appeal to the students and do your best to completely pack it out with students.
Yeah.
And I know some of these students, the enrollment's just not big enough to make that kind of impact. But those are it's a pain in the ass for a guy that's 35 that's got a 2-year-old kid and he's got a job and he's been working all week to find a way to travel an hour or two to a campus. You've got 18, 19, 20-year-olds that all they're doing is...
Yeah, what you compete with there, and Alabama saw that, is keeping them in the stadium and away from the bars when the game gets out of hand. And that was what Nick Saban always complained about, is they would look up and see the student section empty out when Bama was up 35 in the second half. Well, because Innisfree seemed like a better option at that time, right?
And I can go watch whatever game was on ABC that may be going down to the wire. Is Penn State beating Ohio State? Let's go to Innisfree.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Have a Bud Light and watch the end of that game.
Yeah, I mean, so it's all about combating the better options, and college football programs trying to do it. I can't imagine being a Duke athletic director trying to figure out how to get people to come and stay at football games for Duke. Basketball I can handle, but for football, how do I do that?
It's almost like, I guess you can't do the lottery. I don't know. Can you do the lottery? Do you have to have
like the in-game thing, like you do a Braves game?
The 50-50?
Yeah, I pitched this to
Greg Byrne?
To Saban for Nick's kids back in whenever we went to a Braves game one time, and I saw it at a Braves game, and I said, we should do this at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and half of it go to Nick's kids.
Do y'all ever participate in the 50-50?
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah.
But I've actually left and not even checked it sometimes.
Yeah, because somebody's winning that night, Brownie.
Yeah. they are, yeah. There's only 40,000 people in the stadium.
And I happen to have $10 in my pocket.
Yeah, I was explaining it to my youngest when we were at the Rangers-Giants game out in Arlington a month or so ago, because they were in our section trying to, they had the signs up. She's like, what is 50-50? And I was like, well, you put money in and they're going to draw later, and if you win, you get half the money. She goes, well, we're going to put some in? I was like, no, I'm not going to put money in there. It's like, look at all these people around. You think we're going to win that drawing? Which it's better.
Somebody's going to win.
It's better odds than the lottery, but it's also less money.
What about if you're a program like Alabama, you give $100,000 cash away to one fan at every home game. So you're giving away less than $1 million for a full season. It's dropping the bucket.
They don't have to put any in. You're just giving it away.
You're just giving it away.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even legal. I would guess it's legal to do the 50-50. It's just a raffle. It's the same thing as a raffle, right? And I'd used to do raffles all the time.
If you're sitting, I mean, what would the fight be? If you're sitting in seat C,
now my
$100,000. Now, please, on your way out, stop by. It's right next to the barbecue stand. See the tax off, the IRS stand we have set up for you for your $100,000.
Now, my paternal grandmother would not buy a raffle ticket from me. She said it was taking chances. Or the way she said taking chances.
Yeah. And that was against the Bible for her.
Well, in her mind. I mean, which is fine. That was her stance. But she thought a raffle ticket was gambling, so she wouldn't do it.
Would not do it anytime.
But she loved me doing a My Bookie read.
I do the 50-50 all the time, man. You never know.
I've never done it. So I'm surprised that both of you have. Well, actually, not totally surprised.
Our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama. They treat all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between. Call that number. Schedule an appointment today, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, or visit urologycentersalabama.com to schedule that appointment today. UCA, taking care of you men as you grow a little bit older. When we come back, LT's got 4 downs today, and we'll talk some more college football with you as we get ready. Another day of the Olympics happening as we speak. I think today men's gymnastics, but last night Simone Biles and Auburn's Suni Lee did what they had to do to get the Americans into Tuesday's team championship, but also both of them will be competing for the all-around championship coming up on Thursday night. So both of them led the way. Stupid Olympic rule number 672. Jordan Childs of Team USA was 4th overall, but she can't compete in the all-around because they can only take 2 from each team. But she was 4th overall.
I mean, I got to limit it somehow, right?
Well, no, you should have it's like college football playoffs. You should have the best gymnast in the all-around. But she gets no chance to get a medal coming up on Thursday night in the individuals. But the all-around, the team championship happening on Tuesday night. When we come back, 4 downs and a lot more on the show today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Everyone talking TVs over in the chat room. Always good to see that. By the way, LT will tell us about Dr. B after Forrester proves to us again that the college football 25 EA Sports gameplay, not so good. Quinshon Judkins.
He's really good.
Apparently, he cannot be used in online money games. Watch this cutback right here.
Look at that wall.
I'm telling you, what blocking.
I mean, how does a defense have 11 people in the same place?
Dang. Is that Quinshon Judkins right there?
Yep.
Good Lord. Did they watch him at Ole Miss? I mean, he's good.
I still don't think he's the best running back on the on the roster. I think Trevion Henderson, when he is healthy, is the best running back.
So what you and Scott are saying, and Lunceford too, I think, is that playing defense on this game is impossible.
Yeah, the gameplay is...
So, what are the final scores? In the 40s? Is it USC, LSU?
USC, LSU. Yeah, USC and LSU fans
I'm telling you,
I don't see a problem
That's one
with
of the best wall and effort blocks I've ever seen from a whole team.
Yeah.
They got out in space, didn't they, Lance?
Yeah. I mean, this one's amazing, too. I'd be dizzy if I did this many spins.
I'm telling you what, based on these two plays, I've got Ohio State very high in my offensive line power rankings.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you guys playing in Waco? Is that Bama against Ohio State in Waco?
I don't know why they picked that game.
Right. Why is that?
It was Georgia, Ohio State, in Waco. But watch this again. Now, in what game do you end up with 11 defenders all right there on the field? Look at this.
You got to make that tackle.
Yeah, but look at Lance is right. Look at my top rated. They're number one in my power rankings right now. I reserve the right to change that. Look how good they are out there in space.
That's such a fun game. Show being brought to you by our friends at Dr. B.
Can't believe it's that bad.
Our man, Dr. B, helping me out, helping Brown out when we started this almost 4 years ago. I could tell the hair was thinning out a little bit. I had no idea. I made calls. Everybody said Dr. Beckstein is the guy you need to go see. I've seen Dr. B for more than 2 years, and the hair has more than doubled in thickness. All I'm doing is a non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. You can call Dr. Beckstein and that great staff today. Schedule the consultation for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. Or T3hair.net.
Coming off a Big Cat weekend, we had heard 2 things at SEC Media Days. One was about Steve Sarkisian and how he was turning down. I was surprised when Chip told us that in Austin that Sark wasn't even using all his NIL money, all his booster money. I mean, that surprised you, didn't he? That he was sort of not full throttle with all the resources he had at his
maybe his accountant said, save some for your divorce.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
That's sad.
I don't know.
It's sad. I mean, this should be...
I had a conversation with somebody about this over the weekend that really doesn't watch a ton of football, starting to watch a ton of football. And, well, it would be so difficult to be a coach's wife. Well, you know what you're signing up for. Like, going into this, you're not going to, and you've got to have the right stomach and the right makeup from 2 different parties to be able to make this work, but you're never going to see your husband.
They say it's mutual.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess what I was looking at, Lance, is this should be the happiest moment of his life. Like, this guy came back from the abyss. I mean, his coaching career was in peril after USC, And
after he's fired from a booster event where he was intoxicated, after his struggles with his demons, you're right. Without going to Tuscaloosa, I don't know if he ever gets rehab.
Could you have convinced Steve Sarkisian in that moment you'll be the Texas head coach one day? You just got fired from USC. One day you're going to be the Texas head coach just to be the happiest. And he's the Texas head coach. He's coming off a really good year. They go into the SEC. They're one of the favorites to win the national championship. And, your personal life is now not happy. It's just so sad that for him, you can't get all that happy at the same time.
But sadly, when you see this going on in his personal life, the first thing you think of, anybody that's battled addiction, is you wonder, is he going to be able to continue to fight off those demons if somehow this is a rough patch in his personal life, because that demon's always there, right? You've got to fight them forever.
Well, the demons are always there, and you just wonder what the support staff is, how big of a part of his support staff was his wife.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now that, they're going to be going separate ways, I don't know. Like if you had a 22-year-old fresh out of college, just got done playing, was like, I'm going to be a grad assistant, I want to coach, I would tell them, this sounds really sad. I would say I would do my best to not fall in love.
On the other side of that, if you had a daughter and she was falling for a college coach,
I would tell my daughter, you need to run. Unless she's very independent, too.
Yeah.
Like, there are some people in relationships, don't take this the wrong way, you and your wife seem like y'all do a lot of things and it works. There are some people that want to do this, and they want to have their space, and when they get their time together, it's quality time. But if you are needy at all, a coach, whether you're the coach or the woman in the relationship, it ain't going to work.
Yeah, but again, I say it's sad because I'm like, Lance, I think she knew what she was getting into marrying a college football coach. And they were together in Tuscaloosa. I mean, that's
right.
I think it said they got married in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So they were together in Tuscaloosa. So she's been along every step of the way and seen, if she thought I'm going to see him ever, and he was coaching for Nick Saban, that's my point bringing up that they were together in Tuscaloosa. He was not home a lot in Tuscaloosa. Like, I think she knew before they even got married that's what this is going to be.
So how many and there's the statement from Steve Sarkisian, how many high-profile coaches do you guys remember getting a divorce?
There have been some. Ed Orgeron.
Well,
pretty high profile.
That was at the end.
Jimbo Fisher.
Okay, but
that was not at the end. That was at the end at Florida State.
Was the Ed Orgeron, and again, this is complete speculation, but did that divorce play anything into the end?
What do you mean? The end of his time at LSU?
It just seemed like he was shirtless, and he was just. I don't know. He seemed like a different person, and maybe it was. People would say it was just arrogance winning a national championship.
But that's what it seemed like. That there
was a correlation. It seemed like with the end of a relationship and kind of things coming unhinged.
That he became king of the world in college football and wanted to be king of the world everywhere else.
Baton Rouge,
man, and I hope and pray for Sarkisian because of the demons you mentioned he has battled, that he doesn't stray off that path.
I just hate it for I don't dislike Steve Sarkisian. I've always
liked him. From what you hear, he's a very likable guy.
And I just hate that he is at this moment in his professional life, which should be the happiest he could ever be in his professional life, right? And then it's your private life or your personal life that now it's broken a little bit. So that's just unfortunate.
It becomes one of those in the old NFL today with Jimmy the Greek and Musburger, and they had the
right.
What was one of them? Intangibles. It's one of those intangibles you got to factor in. You got to bake into Texas is Sarkisian's personal life, and that's sad that you have to do that, but right now you still have to bake that into the intangibles on what could go wrong with Texas's season.
You hate to even make this a talking point, but it could be the opposite. This could have been a distraction to him with a marriage that is falling apart, and now he throws himself into this season.
I don't know, like you guys didn't even realize I was separated for maybe the first 3 or 4 months that I was separated. I remember
you told us,
bringing you guys in one time and telling you guys what was going on with me, but I'll say this, in that year, it was one of my more productive professional years as far as sales go.
That was your escape, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just poured everything into it.
And I do think that's potentially, what Steve Sarkisian will do is and he probably was already doing this. Let's don't pretend like, the marriage fell apart overnight. Those things take a while to fall apart.
4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice every day. Our man Tyler will get 4 Downs ready for us here. I'll get to that cut a little bit later on. That's on me. 4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice. Great place for lunch and dinner, LT.
Yeah, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. Just fantastic dude. His brothers continue to celebrate His legacy, Jason and Chris get into one of those 5 locations, Lakeview, Montevallo, Crestline Park, Vestavia, and now the newest location in Edgewood. Get a slice, get a salad. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More Super Bowl appearances moving forward. Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, or Jordan Love.
Give them to me again.
Thank you for leaving 2.
Dak, Jared Goff, Hurts, and Love. I'll get to 2 in a second. We're NFC focused right now.
Gosh. To me, it's down to Love and Dak here, Lance. I mean, I've never seen Detroit in a Super Bowl.
With the same team?
Yeah, I don't know if you
Can
guys...
I get Dak if he goes to the Rams, say? Or
Yeah, sure. This is just Dak. This is not Dak connected to the Cowboys.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys saw my tweet this morning, but I heard this guy talking, and he said there have been 27 teams that have reached a conference championship game since the last time the Cowboys have. For count, there's only 32 teams in the NFL, so I went back and fact-checked it. It is true. And you start to think about some of the brands that the 27 other have been there. So it's the Cowboys. It is the Redskins / Commanders. It is the Browns. It is your Dolphins.
Yeah, they haven't
and
been
it's
since
the
92.
Texans. Those are your 5 teams.
Yeah. Dolphins haven't been since 92. So.
The Browns are a complete reboot since them, right? They're a complete.
Yeah. That's pretty remarkable.
And the Browns can't stay healthy. I mean,
but to your point, that's some pretty good historical brands
Yeah.
right there. The Washington, the Redskins / Commanders, Cowboys, Dolphins.
that's why I can't, I think Dak's good. I think this roster's good. They've been, hovering, but they just can't get it done in the postseason.
I'm going to go Jordan Love here in the Packers.
I think I'm going to go Jordan Love or Jared Goff. I said this time last year that the sexy team was going to be Detroit, and could they live up to the expectation? And they exceeded the expectation going to the NFC Championship game. I'd love to see how they back it up this year, but I think it is Goff or Love, and I'm going to go Love.
It just feels like every Packers quarterback does this, right? They come in, they take a team to the playoffs, take a team to the Super Bowl, and win a Super Bowl. So I think I'll go Jordan Love too.
Second down.
Stand by for Tua.
More Super Bowl championships moving forward. I'm going to give you Pat Mahomes, who's already got 3 going for a 3-peat. Some people believe they're going to get there. They're obviously your favorite. So Mahomes moving forward, or the combination. I'm going to give you 5 guys.
So I get the combo of all 5 of these are
Joe
Mahomes.
Burrow,
Right.
Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, and Lamar Jackson.
I'll take the combo over Mahomes. Well, that's 5 really good quarterbacks you're giving me.
I know, but none of those 5 have won one.
The other one's Patrick Mahomes.
Only one's played in it.
And this is moving forward.
This is moving forward.
Yeah, I take the combo. Of the
Tua, Burrow, Allen. Who are the other 2? Lamar?
Herbert and Lamar.
Lamar and Herbert.
If I took Lamar and Burrow out, if it was just Allen, Herbert, and Tua,
now you got
I would
me.
definitely take Mahomes.
Yeah, now you got me.
I think I would take the combo too, because I think Burrow will win one. I think Lamar will win one. And if Mahomes wins 2 or more,
It's going to be tough there.
I know you know this, LT, but for those that are watching, it's Mahomes, and those are all AFC quarterbacks, so they got to go through Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl.
That is true.
So I'm I think Mahomes, I think that window has closed. It closed last time.
Wow.
Wait, for Mahomes?
Mahomes' window has closed?
Yeah, I mean,
They
that
just
team's
won a Super Bowl. They were. I don't
That's what
say
I'm saying, it
they
closed.
were the worst Mahomes team I've seen in the regular season last year. Would you guys give me that?
Yeah, so they won a Super Bowl.
And they're able to go on the road, beat Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, and then beat San Francisco in the Super Bowl. And they weren't even playing great football last year.
Trust me, I hope you're right. Trust me, I hope you're right.
Yeah, I don't want to see it again.
I don't think Mahomes wins another one. I'm going to take the cluster.
Third down.
That is quite a prediction.
It is National Lasagna Day.
Love it.
And National Chicken Wing Day. Perfectly prepared wings or a perfect lasagna?
Perfect lasagna. I don't dislike wings at all, but lasagna is next level. And if you gave me a perfectly prepared lasagna, I would take that over wings.
First of all, it's not a wing if it doesn't have a bone in it, right?
Yep, that's true.
You got to have a bone.
Yeah, it's a chicken nugget otherwise.
It's a nugget or a
basically, yeah.
finger. It's not a wing at that point.
Yeah, Jack got wings delivered from Domino's on Friday or Saturday night. Saturday night, I think. And I opened the box. I was like, that's not wings.
Yeah.
There was like cheese spread on them, and he ate them. He's like, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know what you ate, but
I would say that I don't like the actual wing. I like the drumette. which I guess is part of the
You don't
wing.
like the flats. You like
I
the
don't
drums.
flats.
I'm with you. I like the drums
I like
better
the
than
drums.
flats. I can eat the flats,
Yeah,
but if
I
you
like
just
the
gave me all
drums
drums, I'd be fine.
Yeah, follow me here. I love lasagna, but it can get redundant before it's over with. You know what I mean? You get a big slice of lasagna, and it can get redundant.
All I need is one big slice. Like,
Yeah.
I don't eat lasagna enough.
Very rarely do I eat it.
I
I
love
say that.
lasagna.
Jennifer
I
has
would
started
do
doing it
lasagna.
more. I do like lasagna.
Let me know next time she does it.
I will.
Fourth down.
I love a good wing. Love them.
It is also July 29th, National Tiger Day. If I asked you better Tiger, ultimately, Joe Burrow or Cam Newton?
Tiger Woods. I would say better Tiger. So
okay, so let's just
this
go back
is weird,
2010, 2019.
Yeah.
Who had the better season?
I'm going to say Cam only because Cam was single-handedly carrying a team. Cam did not have Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
I think that Auburn team is 7-5 without Cam Newton.
I mean, Michael Dyer was a good running back. Would you say Michael Dyer was better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
No.
I don't think so. So, I mean, you were a deficit at every single spot.
Yeah. Now do receivers, right?
Well, receivers are nowhere close. You don't even have to talk about receivers.
You know, the thing, though, I do think Burrow is going to win a Super Bowl, which Cam never did. Now, Cam won an MVP. I think Burrow will win one of those, too. But if Burrow is to get hurt this year, I think you start to talk about Burrow as more
like Tua.
injury-prone than Tua.
I think if Burrow can stay healthy, he'll have the better pro career. Cam had the better college season. I mean, career season, however you want to word that.
Those are the two top college football seasons of all time.
Burrow and Cam?
Yeah, they've both been to one Super Bowl. Who's more iconic? I don't know.
Well, I mean, Cam Newton is a.
I think Cam.
I mean, that 2010 season, he was a folk hero or villain, depending on which side of the state conference or
Burrow,
nation you're
after
on.
winning a national championship, rode out to Bourbon Street with a hat that said "Big Dick Joe" on it.
He did. He's a confident guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go Cam better college career / year, and Burrow better pro career ultimately. Now, if Burrow gets hurt again, I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah, up until this point, Cam has had the better career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'm going to
Burrow's
lean
end up better
Burrow.
pro.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I'll lean Burrow too, and that's 4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations. The original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. Newest location in Edgewood. Local pizza, local ingredients from the Hot Mama to the Soul Pie to the Wing and a Prayer. You're going to love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
I will tell you that the Olympic flame lighting ceremony, it's not really a flame. Did y'all notice that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Who lit it?
Here's the picture. They're trying to be the best.
Probably the dude from 50 Shades of Grey, considering the way they did opening ceremonies.
That's a balloon.
It is, but the flame is underneath it here. Turns out that's just lights and water vapor. They put the flame in there, and then as it floated up throughout the whole ceremony, it's lights and water vapor, steam basically.
How about that?
Is all it's going to be, not a flame. They're trying to be. They're trying to leave the smallest footprint. What am I looking for?
Footprint?
Yeah. What is it?
Carbon footprint.
Yeah, smallest carbon.
I do worry about that when they light the Olympic flame.
Yeah.
I always think about the carbon footprint.
I mean, we used to back in our college days, we would go out onto the land stripping areas in the area. The strip mining, and we'd stack wood up, and it would burn all night long.
Right.
I mean, we'd have bonfires, and they're worried about a torch for 16 days.
I know. Who lit it though? Do you know?
Some Frenchman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Snoop Dogg did.
Snoop had
we saw him run it.
Yeah, Snoop had a little run in it, and so did Tony Parker. Was one of the French people that made it up to the cauldron, but somebody else lit it.
Yeah, somebody you'd never heard of.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I don't know who it was. All right, the Olympics continue. Team championship tomorrow for the gymnastics tomorrow night. Daytime live on NBC and Peacock, and then prime time for the replays of that because of the difference in time. Big win over the weekend yesterday. Kevin Durant was back for his first time. The men beat Serbia and Jokic there. So 23 from KD as he came in his first appearance.
First action since April, and comes off the bench and actually goes for 23. And look, they were down when he came off the bench. I mean, South Sudan playing in their first Olympics ever got the win, and so now the Americans have got them after losing an exhibition play.
I saw the point spread. Those 31.5. I think it was.
It did drop.
Yeah, it was 40 something in the first game, wasn't it? In that exhibition game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun little basketball game if you were stuck on the couch and couldn't lift your head off a pillow to watch it yesterday.
Very specifically.
But by the way, I'll take 31.5 right now. You're talking about 40 minutes of basketball. That's a lot of points.
You'll take 31.5 against Sudan?
Yep.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, the only player that did not play for the Americans yesterday, did not play and was a healthy scratch, was Jason Tatum.
Yeah, when you're healthy scratching Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I heard Steve Kerr try to explain this, and he's like, you can only play 10 guys in 40 minutes. Well, I think you've got to play a 3-time first-team NBA guy who I think he just signed the richest deal in NBA history, did he not?
I think something like that, yeah. It's close to it, if not.
Yeah.
So are you going to take the U.S., laying 31.5?
When do they play again?
Oh, I think it is later this week. It's this week.
Yeah, it's probably Friday.
You want to wait till the game?
Give me a little
feel.
time. I need to see where our South Sudan brains are right now. See how bad they get beat by the other teams.
I like South Sudan, I think. That's what I'm saying. I think I'd still take 31.
I'm trying to get him take the U.S.
A college football sellout to tell you about. More college football news coming up on the other side. This is the next round.
Follow the Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Our friends at Longest Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longest offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longest offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longest sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longest has to offer you.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Back with you on the Next Round of LTD and be with you 26 days away from week 0, show number 751 today. Being brought to you in part by our friends at CPAP Plus, the guy that helped Ush from the Pennant Grace start to get better night's sleep.
Yeah, he's swearing by these guys. If you've had problems with insurance, if you've had problems getting your equipment, you're not going to have any problems with our friends at CPAP Plus. And also, on top of that, Why would you buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online? You can actually go see the folks at CPAP Plus and see what you're actually buying. With over 200 5-star reviews on Google, the folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel, with mask and supplies in stock every day. If you need it today, they've got it today. Visit any of those 3 convenient locations in Pelham. Highway 280, now open and trustful for a free CPAP checkup and free filters. No appointments needed. You can also sign up for that July giveaway. You've only got a few days left for that. For the free travel CPAP machine, just Google CPAP Plus or drop into one of those 3 convenient locations. Tell the O'Neill brothers the Next Round sent you.
All right, Brandon Marcello joined us out at SEC Media Days, and this is what I was getting to earlier. We had heard Steve Sarkisian wasn't using all of his booster money that he had available to him, and Brandon Marcello, we thought this was important coming off Big Cat Weekend, made an observation about Auburn football.
We were told this week by someone that I trust that right now Sark isn't tapping into all the money that's available to him at Texas. He's trying to build it with chemistry guys.
Same thing is going on at Auburn right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're spending some money, but they're holding back. They're waiting for the time to strike here the next year or two. Not a lot of programs, but several programs are taking that approach.
Now, why is Auburn doing that, do you think?
They want to get high school kids in there, develop them for a couple of years,
Okay.
and then complement that through the transfer portal by paying out the wazoo to get some guys. That's why you didn't see them go pick up a transfer portal quarterback this
Right.
year. There were some really good guys that would have fit really well in that system, and Auburn didn't even sniff them because they've got a plan in place. I'm telling you, year 3, year 4, watch out for Auburn in the NIL space.
See, if year 3 and year 4 are that good, that's great, but it almost seems like you got to flush away a year. Like, isn't that what you're kind of saying by building it like that?
Yeah, I mean, it is the NFL equivalent of we're going to go young, we're going to rebuild, we're going to stock draft picks, and we'll be good in 2, 3, 4 years. And that works sometimes, the NFL.
And maybe it's such a business, much like the NFL now. Maybe this is kind of the direction you had. Not everybody can win a championship. Not everybody can go to a college football playoff. But, you know, I've always had this really big expectation in year 2 for Hugh Freeze. And if I'm an Auburn fan, like, you want to see progression, but at the same time, I'd like to think that I'm a dark horse candidate to get to a college football playoff. But if we're kind of sandbagging, waiting for year 3, doesn't seem like that's really realistic.
Tell me what's wrong with my thought on this. Why would I not want to empty my bank account to try to make a big impression this year as Kalen DeBoer is just starting in Tuscaloosa? I don't need him to get a toehold in places. I don't need him to get momentum going. I need to, at some point, not let them transition from Saban to DeBoer, and I need at some point to start chipping away at Kirby.
I think what you've encountered here with Hugh Freeze, and he and Kalen DeBoer are such different situations based on the roster they took over. I think maybe Hugh Freeze took over a roster that he thought, even if I go spin that, I still don't have the roster to compete. Why not try to build a foundation with high school guys? I think this is what Brandon is saying. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is 100% what Hugh Freeze is doing. I'm just guessing. Build the foundation of the house, still in high school recruiting, and then once I get a foundation, now we can outfit the house nicely. And I'll have plenty of money to do that because I'm not spending a ton of it in year 1 and year 2.
The only thing that I would argue back on that is Auburn is a good enough brand. We've seen them in 2010 win a national championship, in 13 play for one. They were knocking on the door in 17. I would look at TCU in year 1 under Sonny Dykes, and with his transfers, they played for a national championship. And if TCU can do it, and that was in a 4-team playoff, my expectation is to compete this year, win 9 or 10 games, and get to a college football playoff.
That's just what I took from what Brandon said right there, is that Hugh Freeze thinks the prudent way to do this, Dunaway, is to build the foundation of my house still through high school recruiting, save on the NIL money, and then when I've got the foundation where I want it, I've got 3 years of NIL money to spend in 1 year.
And I go spend that money to fill the cracks.
Hey, and that's fine.
And make my house the nicest one, potentially.
As long as, like, if this year Auburn's 7-5,
and you really gamble,
and you really saved up, then if I'm an Auburn fan, you better get me to a 12-team playoff in year 3.
That's the gamble in this strategy. One of two ways, Lance, is that if you had this strategy year 1 and year 2, and you were really bad. Now, he wasn't really bad in year 1, but if you had been really bad, now this becomes a critical year for him, and you're still building, right? But to Lance's point, even if, so Auburn was 6-7, right? So let's say Auburn has a good year, and they're 9-3. and this is your building, what is the expectation for year 3? Or this is your plan. What is the expectation for year 3 to you? If you go 6-7, 9-3,
it's playoffs or bust.
Yeah, and I think it's even more than just playoffs or bust. I think you need to be an 11-ish win type team. If I've gone 6-7, 9-3, and now I'm spinning out the wazoo in NIL, as an Auburn fan, my expectation is this better be probably a team that should be in Atlanta or very close to being Atlanta, and I really expect to at least be in the semifinals.
27-20, a little over 2 minutes. Pass completed. Auburn's got the ball in Georgia territory at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I went back and watched that game yesterday morning. 27-20. They're down a touchdown driving with a chance to tie or walk Georgia off at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And then first down, back shoulder throw. The receiver reads it wrong. And then 2 balls that hit receivers in the hands that would have been first down that ended the drive. For Auburn there, and Georgia took knees.
If Brandon, now these are all ifs, and I know what people are going to say. If my uncle had my aunt had balls, he'd be my uncle, right?
That's right.
Whatever that saying. Yeah.
Candies and nuts.
Yeah, whatever. But these are 2 big ifs. But if Auburn takes care of business there and they don't stupidly rush 2 on 4th and 31, all of a sudden this plan Brandon's talking about is viewed totally differently, right? Because Auburn's a 9-win team and they've beaten Georgia and Alabama in Hugh Freeze's first year. And I don't know.
Maybe, I don't think that would be the plan.
Maybe at that point, then, to your point, Hugh's like, my God, we were 9-3. We've already beaten Georgia and Alabama. Now let's spend that NIL money and get in the playoffs this year.
Before LT,
you're right, it would have accelerated it.
Before LT tells us about Inverness Country Club, I will tell you coming up at the top of the hour, we'll ask a question: is 3-year plan smart, like a Billy Napier? How many people get into Billy Napier's situation and then turn it around and survive? I'll ask these guys to rack their brain, find me a coach that is in the Billy Napier situation that survived and had success at his current job. I don't know if you can find one. Tell us about Inverness Country Club.
They have memberships that will absolutely fit everyone. The social membership, including a resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday night, Sunday brunch, the golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Do you travel for work or pleasure? Ask about the Heritage Plus option, where you have access to courses at 37 other clubs around the country. Inverness Country Club, great place to meet others in the community. Maybe you've relocated to retired. Inverness is a great place to network. Child care, also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Best days happen at Inverness. Take a tour of this unbelievable club today. Call Aaron 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, iccalabama.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @thelancetaylor.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new Chicken Bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show, always brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Before I tell you about Champy's, has anybody seen Roll Tide Willie lately? Is he still kicking?
All right, Dunaway setting something up. I have not.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not setting anything up. It just dawned on me. He has not been in my timeline in forever.
Well, I don't want to. My introduction to Roll Tide Willie was on TikTok. And I don't think he's going anywhere, but if I search him on my TikTok, it gets him back in my algorithms, and I don't really want that.
He got kicked out of my algorithms, I guess. But I have not seen him in a while. I don't know if he's doing a makeover or if he's moved on to bigger and better things.
Know.
Is he like Trojan Willie now out in Los Angeles?
I have no idea. UFC not taking him? Yeah. What do you make it in L.A.?
I don't know.
I don't give a piss about nothing but Lincoln Riley.
Is he from Alabama?
I believe
think
he
so,
lives down, I think down in the southeast corner of Alabama, somewhere down in there, like around, if I'm not mistaken, like down around Troy in that area.
If I was to tell you there is one of those rotating fans that just blows the cool air in the bedroom.
With the strings or
and
not?
He's laying on a mattress with no sheets right now.
I can believe it.
The pillow's kind of yellow-brown.
It'd feel good, though.
Yeah.
Yellow-brown. I like those fans.
Yellow-brown. That's at Champy's Chicken, yellow-brown's a good color.
That's right.
That's where you get that crispy, golden battered chicken right there. Champy'sChicken.com. Sterling and the crew. Did he come one of the days I was gone?
Sterling has not been up here. We have got to make that right.
Yeah.
We got to get Sterling up here.
Sterling wants to come by and get us ready for football season. Just a few weeks left to do that. Deep Southern fried chicken, brined overnight, hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Perfect for your tailgate. Win your tailgate all year long. Great date night right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. It is Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Keith said he flip-flopped. He flipped his commitment to Auburn now.
Willie did?
Yeah, he's War Damn Willie now.
I wish that for Little T. I wish Little T would get Roll Tide Willie as Auburn.
Little War Damn Willie.
As much as she rolls her eyes at you when you bring him up. That would be phenomenal.
Okay, so I challenge the chat room to help us out here as well. But through the history of college football, you're in Billy Napier's situation going into this year. Who keeps it out of the ditch and then goes on to have success at that same school? Is
Frank Beamer.
Frank Beamer did it?
Oh, yeah. Let me pull up Frank Beamer's.
But, I mean, that was a different time. Was he really?
You didn't tell me I had to be.
No, I'm just asking, was he really on the hot seat back then?
As I remember the stories, Frank Beamer was. And I think when I give you the record, you're going to see that he.
No, I think the ultimate example is Dabo.
Yeah.
So Dabo.
Well, no, you're right about that.
Dabo was on the verge of getting fired.
Gave up a 70 spot to West Virginia in a bowl. Yeah. And it was
Terry Don
Phillips. Terry Don Phillips is the one that brought him in, right?
Yeah. So here's Frank. I'll go to Dabo. Here's Frank Beamer's first. I mean, listen to this. This is how patient they were with Frank Beamer. Now, listen, Virginia Tech.
That's right.
Terrible program. I get it.
And he was one of theirs.
2-9, 3-8, 6-4-1, 6-5, 5-6, 2-8-1. Even at bad programs, he would not have survived this. But then he turned it around, and he gave them some of the greatest moments that they have ever had. Dabo, I think, Lance, it was before that Orange Bowl that he had already saved his job once after before he got that 70 spot put on him.
Yeah, I don't think there was anybody that believed Dabo was going to be able to make the noise
Nope.
he made.
So I think, if I remember right, it was after 2010 he almost got fired. Dabo was 4-3 in his first year replacing Tommy Bowden.
His interim year.
And that was the year that got him the job. Then he was 9-5. They actually won their division, went to the Music City Bowl. Then he was 6-7 and went to the Meineke Car Care Bowl, 4-4 in the ACC. And I think that was when Terry Don Phillips called him in, and he thought he was getting fired. And Terry Don Phillips said, "I'm going to give you one more year." And that year he was 10-4. I think they won the ACC that year, Lance. Yeah, because they went to the Orange Bowl. But that's when they got the 70 spot put on them.
That's when he went on a run, yeah.
Yeah, but boy, after that, he was pretty good.
MyBookie.ag chat room. Caleb says Neil Brown did it last year. Neil Brown was in this situation, and he turned it around. Now, he's got to keep it going, but that's a great call.
Yeah, so I was talking about this over the weekend. Neil Brown had the shortest odds to get fired last year. There was a 29% chance he was going to lose his job. He was only plus 250 to lose his job. Shortest odds of any coach, and he turns around and wins 9 games. Goes 6-3 in the Big 12.
Listen, understandably, Lance, on those odds, at West Virginia, 5-7, 6-4, 6-7, 5-7. Last year was the only winning conference record in the Big 12 that he has had.
Yeah, I don't know what the expectation should be in Morgantown. I know it's better than 500.
Better than that, yeah. He's 31-29, 20-24, so I completely get it. However, he turned it around last year, and if you're right, and they maybe pull that upset against Penn State,
yeah.
I mean, it has completely turned for him.
Davey said Mike Norvell did this at Florida State. Nick says Jim Harbaugh took a pay cut, keep his job, went on to win a national championship.
He did.
Here is the betting odds from MyBookie.ag on the first head coach to get fired. It is Billy Napier at 4-1 odds. Where was Neil again? Is that about the same?
Plus 250, shorter than those.
Shorter than those. So 4-1 for Billy to be the first coach to get fired. Pittman is 5-1 is the first coach to get fired. Now, this is different than being fired or the first coach to be fired. Mario Cristobal is 6-1. The first coach to be fired. That would take a loss to Florida to start with to get that going.
And I think that's why you see both Napier and Cristobal so high on this list, is that first game is going to set the tone, I think, for both those teams.
Yeah, there were 10 guys on this list. I did a podcast. I know you're about to bring up Lance's lock. I'll tell you more about that, but I did a pod on the 10 coaches last year that had the shortest odds, and then 10 coaches to take a look at this year. Of the 10 coaches that had the shortest odds last year, how many do you think ended up getting fired?
I would say of the 10, 4 got fired.
Seems like a 50-50 proposition. I'd go 5.
4 got fired, 5 survived, and 1, Jeff Hafley, took a better job to go to Green Bay, be their defensive coordinator.
That's funny. Jeff Hafley actually upgraded. He didn't.
But I do in that podcast, I can tell you one coach that will lose his job in season as early as the month of September, and it's not Billy Napier.
So you've got one.
Yeah.
So go to your.
And I figured this out. Yeah, I figured this out based on how the contract is set up with the buyout.
Okay.
And I think it's really going to happen.
Dave Aranda is 7-1. Don't give it away. Clark Lee's 8-1. Kalani Sataki 10-1. Ryan Day 12-1 I mean, Ryan Day is 12-1 odds to be the first coach to lose his job.
The odds are almost what Clark Lee's are.
Yeah, the guy is the only games he has lost is to Michigan in the playoffs, basically.
Yeah.
Can I just real quick before you do that, Lance? And I'm very intrigued by this. Clark Lee. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're Vanderbilt, look, I get it. He's 9-27, 2-22 in conference.
Yeah. Here's Clark Lee's problem. He goes 5-7 in year 2. Should have never done that.
That's right.
Gets the contract extension through 2030. And since he got the contract extension, he has not won an SEC game.
I have not spent much time looking at Vanderbilt's schedules. Clark Lee, your guy? Before I do this, okay. Clark Lee is not the guy you're about to bring up.
That would be a little boring, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be. It'd be somewhat obvious.
And I don't know what the expectation is.
Well, they open at home against Virginia Tech. That's a game they probably lose.
Yeah, there's the schedule that forced them.
Okay, and then Alcorn at home at Georgia State. They better win both those. And then at Missouri, they're very likely 2-2 coming off a bye, going to play Alabama at home. So you're 2-2 or 2-3. You're at Kentucky, you probably lose that. You're 2-4. Ball State. See, he's got a chance to be 3-4.
It's a one-game situation for Clark Lee.
He's got a chance to be 3-4, but Jim, I just don't know if they win after that. Texas at Auburn, South Carolina, bye week at LSU, Tennessee.
If he beats South Carolina, I think there will be enough there because his out of conference is so bad. Now they're not beating Virginia Tech, But if you get Alcorn, Georgia State, Ball State, and one win in the conference, I think 4-8, he will survive.
I think the best he can hope for is to be 3-4 going into that Texas game, and I do not think they win another game. But South Carolina is a possibility. So I guess 4-8 probably keeps them around. You think 3-7 gets him punted, or 3-8 gets him punted?
Here's what you would have to ask yourself. Like, if I'm Vanderbilt, I want to be better than we've been. But who wants to take that job now?
That was my point.
Yeah. Like, because here's what if I was Clark Lee, I would tell anybody after they fire me, if I would have stayed in South Bend for one more year, I'd have been the Notre Dame head coach. So if you've got a good gig,
stay where you are.
Stay where you are.
Wait it out.
Stay where you are. But he may make a lot of money in a buyout if he got a contract through 2030. I'll play off of that in just a second. Just one other note before I tell you about Way to Wellness. Isn't it ironic that Sharon Moore cannot lose his job this year? And Ryan Day could? It makes no sense that Sharon Moore has basically a honeymoon year in his first year as the head coach at Michigan and could go 8-4 and not lose his job. Ryan Day could lose to Michigan, be
there's
9-3 and lose his job.
No way he loses his job.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think you look at 56-8. I know he's 1-6 against top 5 teams. First of all, I can't find 2 losses on the schedule. So
for Ohio State, it is hard.
So I think they're in the college football playoff. You're not going to fire a coach at that point that's 66-10 and has been to the playoffs 4 of the last 5 years. Yeah. And couple that with the fact, and I'm just doing this on the fly because I looked at so many numbers over the weekend, I think his buyout's $33 million. We know programs don't like to play big buyouts, especially when the word is have $30 million on the table just for this year. Now, they could look at A&M and say, hold my beer. A&M paid $77.5 for Jimbo Fisher. I just don't think Ohio State wants to do that when you've got a really, really good head coach.
Our friends at Way to Wellness, aplanforme.com is their website, aplanforme.com. No cookie-cutter plan here, so that means my plan is different than Lunceford's plan, who's different than Melton's plan, who's different than your plan. And we all have different goals. It may be weight loss, it may be blood pressure, it may be cholesterol numbers that you want to keep low, but everything's designed specifically for you. The program is overseen by Leslie and her board-certified professionals. And here's the best part. There's no contract, there's no sign-up fees, and your free consultation is right there for you. Free consultation if you go to aplanforme.com. That's what the guys are going through on screen right there. It's a free consultation. Again, the website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. The Meltdown guys are down over 100 pounds. My blood pressure hasn't gone through the roof yet. Neither's my cholesterol. Thanks to Leslie and the folks at Way to Wellness, planforme.com. Go check them out there.
I don't know who this coach is. I'm trying to guess Lance's coach. I really can't.
We're not want to spoil it though, right? We don't.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you want to, the podcast is like 25 minutes. It's pretty interesting because I give you some plays on. You hate to pull for a coach to get fired, but I mean, if they're going to get fired anyway, if you make a little money on it,
they're going to benefit. You may as well too.
Yeah, so I do have a couple of plays there for you at win@lanceslock.com as a podcast. But I did find digging around these buyouts. There is one that is really, really fascinating. So I can give it to you guys.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to look at the schedule.
It's brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. It brings you lanceslock.com every day. Give us that and then tell us about Hemp Hill afterwards.
Yeah, Hemp Hill Services. Trusted name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your heating, plumbing, and cooling issues. If you have any of those issues throughout your home, these guys are ready to serve you. Jump on board, 205-229-2090. You can always go online. Go to hemphillservices.com. So, my man is Sam Pittman. Okay. And I like Sam Pittman. And I know you have said it, Brown, that he hasn't done enough.
He has not.
Here's his problem. In 2020, he should have been 5-5 in that crazy first year after Chad Morris ran the program into the ground, was 0-18 in the SEC. Really should have been 5-5. 3-7, Arkansas fans were like, pretty good based on what we've seen. Next year, he wins 9 games, runs Texas off the field. And then it's been very average since.
So never won 9 games.
So he is 23-25.
Right.
There is a clause in his contract. Once he drops below 500,
which he is right now,
it drops to $4 million. The
buyout does.
Yes. So you don't want him to get above 500.
He won't.
Yeah, so what you look at is when in season is the time to pull the trigger to make sure he doesn't get back to 500.
Well, let's see the schedule. He's 23-25 right now.
Yeah, well, it's not going to matter. He is going to start 2-4, I think. So at that point,
he's 24-25 after the first week.
That is right.
So
then he loses.
But you say he loses. That is a swing
so
game.
You think Oklahoma State is for the life of Sam Pittman?
Let's
basically.
just say that he wins that game.
Okay,
now
so
he's at 500. He's going to beat UAB. He goes above 500.
All right, but now at Auburn they lose, A&M I think they lose, and then Tennessee I think they lose. So and then you're never back close again with the remainder of that schedule.
But you've still got Mississippi State. I mean, there's some games on there. You're hosting Ole Miss. Like if you know you want to move on from Sam Pittman, I think during the Auburn, A&M, Tennessee, LSU stretch, you've got to figure out which one of those games. But I will be really surprised if he makes it to mid-October.
I think he gets fired in that off week, based on what you're saying right there.
And here's the other thing to look at. This allows Arkansas, with Bobby Petrino, to give him 2/3 of a season.
That's right.
To actually give us, this is your on-the-job interview. You were able to do it back in the day. And this is an amazing country that we live in, that you can ride off in shame on a motorcycle. There was no chance you would maybe ever coach again. And to maybe be the head coach at that university again.
I don't know what Snoop Dogg's record is from the 90s, his police record. I don't know if it's all just in song or if it's in real life.
It was pretty bad.
I mean, he is the talk of the – I mean, he was the last thing in prime time on the NBC main broadcast. He and Tirico walk over. He puts on an NBC jacket, and he does the highlights of the day last night.
Okay. But if you guys are an Arkansas fan and you know inevitably Sam Pittman is going to be out and you remember how good Bobby Petrino had you, do you kind of want this scenario to play out? You're going to save money for NIL and your next coach and whatever. You hate to fire somebody in season, but if in fact it drops to $4 million and you can let Bobby Petrino go out there and be the head coach and see how that works out.
Well, I think the question you have to answer if you're Arkansas is, do I have a stomach for Petrino being my next head coach? Because if you fire him in that bye week and you let Petrino take over, there's 2 very winnable games already at State and hosting La Tech. You can win those games. If he happens to pull an upset against LSU, against Ole Miss, against Texas, or against Missouri, and those would be massive upsets. But if he happens to do that, he's 3-3 with a pelt on the wall against a top 10 team. There's going to be a lot of people crying for bring back Bobby Petrino. Let's go back to the old days.
2 weeks ago in Dallas, Brett McMurphy, who joined us, said, talking to different people around SEC Media Days, that they believe Petrino this year will be worth 2 or 3 wins that they wouldn't have had.
He said 2 or 3 wins, which blew my mind, because if you have them at 4 wins, then that gets them bowl eligible just because of Bobby Petrino.
I mean, look, it's just a different world. We never thought you would see athletes pay the money they're getting paid right now. I think at SEC Media Days next year, Bobby Petrino will be the head coach of Arkansas. I really do.
I mean, but you see,
or it's the greatest moment in Bobby Petrino's Arkansas career is if they fire Sam Pittman midseason. He walks in there and puts his helmet, his armor, and his sword on the ground and says, "No, if Sam's not doing it, I'm not doing it either."
I don't see that. Yeah, Bobby's not one to hold the rope.
But if
it would be so non-character, right?
If I told you, what if I told you? Bobby Petrino takes over. They lose to LSU. They beat State, and Ole Miss comes to Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium in the top 10 and loses that game. It would not blow you away.
No, not at all.
It would not blow you away. And now all of a sudden he's 2-1 with another winnable game left. La Tech, that's 3 wins.
And I know there's some people behind the scenes that would say, Arkansas fans, we will never have him as a head coach again. You are already paying him to come back as your offensive coordinator. Really, what is the difference perception-wise?
And the interim season gives him a chance to get all the bad press out, that by the time you hire him as his permanent coach,
I'm telling you,
all the bad press out of the way.
I think this is going to be one of my 3 guarantees coming up, and I'll revisit it when we do that show in I guess less than a month. But I really think this is going to play out like this.
And you think Petrino ends up the head coach?
I do.
Like permanently?
For 2025.
Yeah, for 2025 at least.
Yeah. How about that? There's a 2025 plan for you right there in Arkansas with Bobby Petrino. Trash on the Other Side, show being brought to you from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino studio. Before we go to break, we had a couple other great college ball graphics on the other side, but Missouri announcing a sellout today, this morning, as you wake up. If you're a Missouri fan, they are sold out at Faurot Field for the Oklahoma game. It's a sellout. Now,
are you kidding? They're just now selling that game out?
You can still get, it's November 9th.
Well, it's Oklahoma.
I was just saying.
Yes.
You can still get tickets to the game with season tickets or on the secondary market. Thank you for America having a secondary market. Like Alabama has sold out all their games except for Western Kentucky and Mercer. Still some single game tickets for Western Kentucky and Mercer.
There, right?
Yeah. All the others are sold out. Missouri announcing that sellout.
Like, even when Auburn went to their, we haven't sold out these games, here are some games. Oklahoma's not part of that package. It was sold out. So that's surprising to me, especially with their Big 12 history, or Big 8 history, really.
Right. Oklahoma fans, it's an easy drive for them, relatively speaking, to all their other games.
And
now.
that used to be, an okay Big 8 rivalry, Oklahoma and Missouri, right? I mean,
you know what that tells me, Brownie?
What's that?
That's a good opportunity for Missouri folks to sell some season ticket packages to Oklahoma fans.
Well, you're as you mentioned, it's an easy drive. You're a neighboring state.
Yeah.
But here's what I would say. Eli just won 11 games. If Eli starts selling out the venue,
I know.
That's next level for Missouri.
That was kind of my surprise. I would just think with what is expected of them this year and what Eli Drinkwitz has just done, that they would have sold the whole thing out no matter what. But freaking Oklahoma, I mean, that's an old school Big 8 game for you.
That was you can still get them as part of the season ticket package, Oklahoma fans. If you want to go ahead and buy the season tickets,
that's coded,
and then sell the rest of them on the open market there. All right, when we come back, we got Trash Bud Light, proud sponsor of the show. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Stay with us.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Several things to get to here before we get to trash. And then coming up in the final segment of the show, we talk a little Oklahoma football. Who's with us today? Brownie.
Eddie Radosevich. He is a entertaining guy from up in Oklahoma, does radio, part of Sooner Scoop, which is on 3. He comes highly recommended to the show. Eddie's first appearance on the show. We'll have some fun with him.
LT tells us about our friends at Miscellaneous Furniture. And then we're going to run through a series of football things that'll make you scratch your head a little bit. A little fun stuff here, and then we'll do the Maxwell Award watch list at the end here.
Got our friend Jon Lunceford actually coming up to check out the studios for the first time. Been twisting that arm for the last few years.
Love it.
One thing they don't do is twist your arm when it comes to furniture. They help you out. Their inventory is incredible. The pricing's incredible. Friends at Miscellaneous Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Miscellaneous offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, a slew of mattresses. Miscellaneous can also help you with your home design and decorating. You can transform your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces, from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Miscellaneous has everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Great sales going on right now. You can also get $300 in Miscellaneous sleep credits. If you're leaving Birmingham, heading out to see the fine folks at Miscellaneous from Birmingham, take exit 280 off of I-65, the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south, U.S. Highway 31 for 1.3 miles. Miscellaneous is going to be right there on your right side. Make sure you get in. Go see John and Reggie and all the great folks. Tell them the next round sent you.
All right, so here we go. Let's go first with the fact that Emily Grace McWhorter will be on camp tours this week. She's starting off with UAB as they open up camp tomorrow. She'll be there to start the show live with us. UAB has new uniforms, or some tweaks to their uniforms. One thing you'll not see in the uniform reveal, the gold helmet's gone. That one retro throwback gold helmet, not in the mix, at least the 5 uniform combos they sent out.
I never liked the gold. I like the white helmet better.
Me too.
Yeah, I think the white looks better than the green. The green and white gives me Michigan State. I think I'd go with the white helmet.
Yeah, but good-looking uniforms. They continue to get better as the years go on. But there's UAB helmet reveal there as well. The green helmet's not bad, though. Not a bad look.
Again, gives me Michigan State. I think I like the white better. I'm a Lance.
And I kind of like the little hint of fluorescent.
Yeah, I like the white.
Seahawks do it.
The white with the neon dragon, basically. Yeah. Yep, I like that.
That sounds like a George Strait song. little white with a neon dragon. And then there's our buddy Brian Kelly, who just is he's me. He's awkward.
Yeah, he is an awkward guy.
Okay, so big recruits on campus, and takes a picture holding up the L, right, for LSU. It's something they do at LSU. Brian can't get it right.
No.
He's going left-handed.
I thought he was flicking off the camera.
He's got it backwards. BK just awkward in these pictures. And I know they have to be awkward. You take 1,000 of these pictures. But he's got the L backwards.
He's actually holding it the way the L goes. It just looks weird.
He's trying to do it then
you're
that way.
supposed to do it with your right hand. So, I don't know.
I mean, it's just not that difficult to do an L.
Well, I know, but his is going to be a backwards L.
Oh,
if he
I
holds
see
it up
what
with
you're
that
saying.
hand.
If he did it right way where it didn't look stupid.
Yeah, so his left hand is his only free hand.
Oh, so he had to do it. He had to do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Just came across as awkward there.
Well, it's because it's Brian Kelly.
Okay. A lot of recruits on campus in Tuscaloosa this weekend, and pictures start bouncing out from Kalen DeBoer's office, which, by the way, the wood is gone. All the wood.
Oh, it's a new office, new location and everything, yeah.
So this is the way the old Saban office look. Newer, high-tech looking office is the way Kalen DeBoer is going. It's like you're in the Apple store.
Yeah, I like the more modern look.
I do too.
mean, Saban's is cozy, but you had to change this for DeBoer.
Yeah, I mean, he changed location and everything. When we did our show from over there, that part was in construction. So it has just opened. I mean, that shows you how recently they redid it. That was, what were we, March?
Yeah.
February or March doing our show from the football complex. And that part was still under construction right there.
Yeah. So
overlooks that big meeting room where they have their team meetings where the big speakers like Kobe Bryant came to speak that one time, and where they watch the selection show and Nick Saban gives a golf clap.
If it's as nice as Hugh Freeze's office. Remember, we had an opportunity to go in there, and he's got a nice little balcony looking right over the practice field.
Yeah. That was a nice office.
That was a good setup.
Yeah, it was.
And then there's the Maxwell Award, which goes to the best player in college football, usually a precursor to the Heisman. These are in alphabetical order, if I think. Yeah, it's alphabetical. Maxwell Award watch list, notable names. It doesn't mean it's the whole list, but Milroe, because he plays at Alabama, Shador, Graham Mertz of Florida's on that list, DJ at Florida State, Carson Beck at Georgia, Donovan Edwards. Dennis Dodd at Big Ten Media Days.
So real quick, though, by the way, how many names is that?
That's just a handful.
Yeah,
There's
a ton.
You don't even have your Heisman favorite on there in Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah,
Luther Burden, Quinshon Judkins, Kyle McCord, Nico on that list there.
I've got the whole list. I'll see if he's on there.
He's got to be. Got to be on there. If not, you can add it to the list. But Dennis Dodd with a mind-blowing... No, there's the whole list.
Yeah, it shows you how big the list is.
Pick out your player. But back to Donovan Edwards. Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports from Big Ten Media Dates, talking to Donovan. Let him know, do you know that half of your yards, your career rushing yards, are either against Ohio State or in the college football playoffs?
Well, I mean, Blake Corum was just an incredible go-to for years and years and years.
How about big games, though? That guy shows up, doesn't he?
And Donovan was that change of pace. But, yeah, I mean, you go back to last year in the national championship game, how many yards did he just have in the first quarter against Washington? I mean, he was completely gashing them.
He is he's the big game guy, and he's the go-to guy this year for Michigan in Sean Moore's first year. That gets us to Trash, brought to you by Mortgage Right. Hit the big button, if you will, Tyler.
Assault, curling off the screen, driving baseline. Oh, you fat, with a 3. Yes, I just said that. That is that man's name. Don't tweet at me.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
So, just to let you know, Donovan Edwards had 6 carries against Washington in the national championship, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged 17.3 per carry.
That's pretty good.
I think that's gashing them. Hey, it is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham and offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. There is no cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Champagne sales are down.
Ooh. I've never been a big champagne guy. I've tasted it, not my thing.
You know, it just depends on the situation, but I'm never going to go and to a restaurant or bar and order champagne.
Order it.
I mean, is Prosecco, is that champagne or is that sorta champagne?
It is, yes.
It's like beginner champagne, right?
It's in the family.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what Maggie goes with, and that's part of, is Prosecco part of mimosa or is that champagne?
Yeah, you can do either or.
Okay.
So the traditional toast to life celebrations like weddings, promotions, even christening new ships appears to have fallen flat. CFO of luxury holdings company LVMH, which owns brands like Louis Vuitton, believes it has to do with consumers feeling happy enough to celebrate. On a Tuesday call covering earnings, their CEO or CFO said, quote, champagne is linked with celebration, happiness, etc. Maybe the current global situation, be it geopolitical or macroeconomic, does not lead to people to cheer up and open bottles of champagne. Really don't know what's going on, but champagne shipments in the first half of 2024 down over 15% from 2023 levels.
I think most people think of champagne as celebratory only, right?
I do too.
I mean, I never think like, you want a glass of wine or buy a glass of champagne?
I've got a sister-in-law, and that's all she drinks. Like,
really?
If we go to a bar, they get a bottle of champagne, which I think is extremely strange, but to each their own.
Do they always say, what are you celebrating? Oh, we're not. We're just here.
Yeah, life.
I'm celebrating.
Well, let's help the business out. Let's pop a bottle or two just for the gram for Taylor's social media at our kickoff party on the 15th.
You think Walcone's got some champagne?
I bet they do, but I don't know.
You really think so?
Probably. It's probably Mom's.
They would put some on ice for us.
Do you remember Mom's?
Mom's?
Yeah.
No.
You don't remember Gaylord Fokker going to get champagne? It's like, do you have a really nice bottle of champagne? Oh, we've got Mom's. Well, I've got $100. You can get a lot of Mom's. Man claims he is constantly mistaken for Mick Jagger and Willem Dafoe. What a mix.
Boy, he does. He does have both. William Dafoe definitely in the mouth.
He's got the European teeth.
He's got that William Dafoe mouth for sure.
Now, this is Kevin Grace, lives in Margat, says he's been mistaken for a string of famous people for 20 years and is always told, quote, I know you, but I don't know how I know you. Now, the 56-year-old believes he has a generic famous face and has had 20 years of being asked for an autograph.
He's only 56, by the way.
He looks a little older, doesn't he?
I agree.
He does, yeah.
Quote, I think because I'm a man of a certain age with high defined cheekbones and long hair, I dress quite left field and trendy, so I look like I'm genetically famous person.
Address left field, he says.
Now,
genetically famous.
The interactions tend generically. Okay. Well, he could be genetically famous too. The interactions tend to fall in different categories. Sometimes I get direct comparisons. Like the other day, I was in New York, and it happened 4 times in one day with people thinking I was a certain celebrity. In other cases, it's people saying, "I know you, but I just can't place you," or "I know you, but I don't know how I know you." He said he's had offers of free food from restaurants. I've had an art gallery offer to shut so me and my missus so we can look around privately. Now, Mr. Grace and his partner Claire Wicks, you see right there, 61 years old, said they're used to the intrusions.
I don't see it.
I don't see any of it.
I would just say though, William Dafoe, like if he came to my restaurant, I don't think I would let him eat free.
Nope.
Probably
not Mick Jagger. He's got plenty of money.
Maybe Mick Jagger, but I don't know.
For a photo.
I'm going to need Mick Jagger to have the photo that he signs Best Chinese Food in Birmingham, Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Put it right next to Eli Gold's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Kung Pao was my beast of burden.
Oh, wow. Actually pretty good.
So, a cyclist recovering after a run-in with a grizzly and 2 cubs that ended with a bear getting punched in the face. Now, according to conservation officer Matthew Corbett, man was riding his bike along a forested trail in northwest British Columbia when he surprised a female grizzly and her 2 cubs in a clearing. Quote, the bear just immediately charged him, knocking him down, but the man put his bike between himself and the bear, which prevented him from being hurt as the bear continued to make contact with the bike. And then he did something unexpected. He punched the bear in the face. Quote,
Take that.
That works on sharks, right?
Told me that he remembered hearing a story on CBC at some point where a man punched a bear in the nose to get him off of him. Corbett said the man in the most recent situation swung as hard as he could, which prompted the bear to run off into the bush. The man was able to ride his bike out of the park and catch a ride home from other park users.
I would not let him in my car or truck at that point because I know he peed his pants.
Boy, punching a bear in the face, that is... You better hope that works.
If your cubs are around, I would still think the bear wouldn't retreat.
No.
Okay, can you speak Gen Z?
I cannot.
Let me try. So we have to we have to translate these. All right.
Number 1, what is Brat Summer?
Go ahead, Jim.
Brat Summer is going to be just we're just out having a good time this summer. It's going to be just us girls. We're out. It's girls' summer.
I think it's the youngs. The youngs are out without the parents.
A term used by young parents to refer to spending the summer holidays tending to their children being out of school.
Oh, so close.
Gosh.
Now, what does it mean if someone ate?
Oh, that means you did it as best you could. And as my youngest will say, she ate no crumbs.
Yeah.
So she left nothing behind.
They did a really good job at something. Very
the
good.
best you could do.
What does it mean if someone is a stan?
They're a fan of. Like I am a Miami Dolphins stan. You're a Rams stan. Jim is a Bucs stan.
I'm gonna go with Brown here. He's always good at this.
Someone is an avid follower or fan of something, someone. Riz, I think everybody knows Riz.
Riz, that's
now.
when you talk game, Jimmy D. Give him the Riz.
Short for charisma, to have charm, be flirtatious. What does BFFR stand for?
Best friends for right now?
Best friends for... I don't know. What's the
For real?
BFing for real.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally, what does bussin' mean?
Bussin' it's so good. Like I go to that restaurant, it was bussin', man.
For me,
Can
it's...
you tell I got a teenager?
When I want to hang with the boys.
Nope. It's good, man.
Delicious, really nice food.
I mean, I got most of those right, Jim.
Yeah,
I
you
would like
did.
to get credit as a 48-year-old man that I can speak Gen Z.
I think you got it all.
And finally, dinner facts. Fidel Castro was obsessed with ice cream, once consuming 18 scoops in one sitting.
Well,
His love for ice cream inspired him to implement a fully fledged dairy industry in Cuba and even opened his own ice cream parlor.
Commie cream.
I don't believe this next one, but the car JFK was assassinated in was cleaned, repurposed back into rotation, and served as a presidential limo for Johnson, Nixon, Ford, and Carter before being retired in 1977. I would refuse it.
Yeah,
No, it did not happen.
I thought it went straight to a museum.
No.
Yeah. It's the
No.
car Kennedy was shot in, Jim.
I know.
You don't want
but
to go
you
see
don't-
that in a museum? You don't want to take the kids to see the
No,
car Kennedy was shot in?
No.
Tyler's on this.
That car failed.
Another
that car
dinner
goes
fact.
to the dump.
Well, they had the roof open. That's why it failed.
I
If they had
know.
the roof closed, Kennedy's still with us.
No.
But you know what? It was a setup. They were
No.
trying to get Kennedy out of office.
Another dinner
Yes.
fact.
We didn't fix Apollo 13 to make it part of Apollo 14, my friend.
Steve Jobs chose the name Apple because it would be placed before Atari in the phone book.
That's the way you used to do like AAA towing or something like that back in the day.
And
Hey,
finally,
ticks.
humans didn't perform the critically acclaimed high five before the 1970s.
Really? I do think that's a 70s thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Had to start somewhere. Where are you on this, Tyler?
It's
Oh, look, right there.
What website is this? henryford.org?
Yes.
Was that a Ford they were driving?
Johnson,
It's
Nixon,
a
Ford, and
Lincoln
Carter, the
Continental, I think,
X100.
but, it says that other presidential parade cars were used, but that one was continued to be used in rotation until 1977.
Well, if you're Johnson, Nixon, Ford, or Carter, and they're like, you want the top down today, sir, what do you say?
Negative, friend.
We're going to keep that up.
Top up.
Are we in the X100 today? No, thank you.
Top up.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, look, if you're looking for your first home, your final home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, our friends at Mortgage Right, they are here to help. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. You can always call 205-900-7200.
This is what we were expecting on Saturday during Big Cat Weekend, but four-star athlete Derek Smith has finally flipped his commitment from Alabama to Auburn, according to Hayes Fawcett and others. That has happened. 6'1", 185 athlete from Selma, committed to Alabama back in March, ranked as the number 2 athlete in the 2025 class there from On3 Sports. More reaction to that right now on our TikTok and Instagram page on that big part of Big Cat Weekend continuing into Monday. Anquan Fagans commits tonight, expected to go to Auburn. A.K. Deere committing this afternoon, 5-star running back. We'll find out where he goes. We talk Oklahoma football when we come back right here on The Next Round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. Unfortunately, over the past year, I've noticed significant hair loss. I asked around, and everyone said call Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration right here in Alabama, and he remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of hair restoration and cosmetic procedures. He uses that experience and his advanced training to help his patients fully understand his procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Countdown to kickoff brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. 26 days away from week 0, and all your tailgating camps start tomorrow. Emily Grace McWhorter will be live at UAB to start the show tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time.
All right, when Oklahoma came to the SEC, a lot of people said, you got to get Eddie Radosevich on. And I was like, I've seen him on Twitter, and they say he's a really good guest. You need to get him on Talk Oklahoma. We're just now getting around to that. So that is on me, Eddie, but a ton of pressure here on your first appearance. How are you today?
Well, now I'm really nervous, but thank you. I think that people have been lying to you. I have nothing to offer, but it is a joy to join you guys today.
Are you in our merch closet?
Somewhat. Yeah, usually we have everything else on, but I'm just a talent guy. I don't know how to turn anything on, so you got me on the computer.
You dress like my co-host.
Eddie's going to the links.
I've learned one thing. If I'm going to hang out with the SEC brethren, I at least have to represent one of the finest institutions in the world in Augusta National. So we might get out to the course today. I know we're under an excessive heat warning here in Oklahoma, which is not great for the afternoon golf session. So I might have to wait until the sun goes down. But still, nonetheless, I can't believe these guys start football practice on Wednesday. It's actually
brutal.
Hey, speaking of excessive heat, I don't think we talked about it several times all summer long. It doesn't seem like you guys at Oklahoma and the guys at Texas got the same schedule the first year coming into the SEC. Theirs seems easy. Yours does not.
I think from a fan base standpoint of traveling and going to games, it's going to be a lot more fun than maybe going to Nashville and Fayetteville and stuff like that. That's just kind of a hop, skip, jump away from Oklahoma City. But at the same time, it's a tough schedule, and I think that there is cautious optimism about what Oklahoma can do here going into Brent Venables' third season. But at the same time, you start working through that schedule, and there's 4, 5, 6 games that are kind of the quote unquote swing games that are going to be really interesting for Oklahoma here in the first year.
You will not find a bigger proponent of Jackson Arnold than the man to my left. He loves him some Jackson Arnold, thinks he's going to be really good. And I don't disagree. But Eddie, we last week we did a little thing where we looked at the Dillon Gabriel numbers from last year and said, would Jackson Arnold be better or worse? It's hard to make a case he's better than any of Dillon Gabriel's numbers.
Yeah, I think that it's a situation, and there's going to be a lot of people outside of the Oklahoma bubble that don't exactly understand how could you let Dillon Gabriel basically kind of walk to Eugene. But at the same time, I think that there was a basic understanding that this is Jackson Arnold's program, and I think the ceiling of what Jackson Arnold can be or will be one day is probably much higher than what Dillon Gabriel was going to be. But when you're talking about this next season in 2024, you're going to have to kind of suffer some ups and downs. I think anytime that you throw a sophomore quarterback out there or a guy that's only started one game, he's going to turn the ball over. Obviously, Oklahoma fans hope it's not the 6 times like he did in the first start there at the Alamo Bowl against Arizona. But at the same time, I think that, when you start talking about, and Oklahoma fans have been so just stinking, I think, spoiled with quarterback play, whether it be Baker or even going all the way back to Sam Bradford, Landry Jones, Kyler, and then Jalen. It's been kind of interesting, and I think that there is some general thought that he can be that next great Oklahoma quarterback. It might just take a little bit of time, and I think that's where you look at the defensive side of the ball. And there's a lot of people that all of a sudden want to talk about the defensive side of the ball in Norman when you go back 2017, 2018, 2019. That simply wasn't the case. So there's a lot of pressure going to be put on those guys if Jackson does turn the ball over. But at the same time, I think that there's a lot of excitement about the start of the Jackson Arnold era here in Norman.
After that 6 and 7 year one, there was a lot of pressure on Venables to at least show that he wasn't overwhelmed with that job. And Eddie, bouncing back with 10 wins, I thought he did a great job with it. But, based on the numbers from Gabriel to what you'll get with Jackson Arnold, I think much so the same going back to how difficult the schedule is. I would assume if Oklahoma won 7 or 8 games of the first-year starting quarterback, just entering the SEC, the approval would be okay on that?
I think that there will probably be people that are still a little bit unhappy. I certainly don't think that there are people around here that think Oklahoma's going to just walk into the SEC and also go 12-0. Now, there is a certain segment of the fan base that think that's going to be the case, but they're also probably the same people that are going to call for Seth Luttrell 1 quarter into offensive football against Temple in the opener. At the same time, I mean, if you were to tell people that they were going to go 8-4 around here, I think that it would be met with a little bit of pushback. That think that 9-3, I think is kind of the pinnacle of what a lot of Oklahoma fans think that this thing could be. But at the same time, you better rack up wins in the first part of September, and then obviously going into the SEC schedule and opening 2-0 against Tennessee and Auburn. So 8-4 would be good. I think obviously 9-3 would be a fantastic start to this first season in the SEC. But I think, like you guys said, there's a lot of unknown with the schedule and kind of what's to come with the unknown that is the week-to-week battle and the grind of the SEC.
With your finger on the pulse of everything, Oklahoma, you tell me, the fans, for the schedule this year, what one SEC road trip are they most looking forward to? And then in the future, the stadium they're looking most for, or the trip they're looking most forward to in the Southeastern Conference?
Yeah, I think that, this year it would probably end up being the Grove. I think anybody that has heard the legend of what the Grove is down in Oxford certainly would match up with kind of what Oklahoma fans envision of the SEC. At the same time, I think that there's a lot of people that are pretty excited about going to Baton Rouge. I know that you talk to Oklahoma fans and the way that they have told it's kind of become an urban legend among OU fans, the way the OU LSU Sugar Bowl win in 2003 and the way that they were treated on Bourbon Street. I know that there was a lot of liquids being thrown at them but a certain element of kind of the fun that comes with Bourbon Street. But those are probably the two this year that really stick out to people. I know that they went to, there's a lot of Oklahoma fans that went to Knoxville in 2015. There was a lot of people that went back to, Tuscaloosa all the way going back into, I guess that would have been 2002. At the same time, I think that, I've never been to Athens, Georgia. I look forward to getting Georgia on the schedule at some point. And, Alabama is certainly one of those places that, if you're a college football fan, you would love to go watch a game at. So, I think there's a lot of excitement. I think you could probably pull the Oklahoma fans, and there's probably more places that they're excited to be than, somewhere like in Nashville where you're probably just going for Broadway and the affairs that come before and after a game.
Yeah. I was going to say, though, but the Big 12, I look at those road games in your old conference, and they just don't seem like fun places to go watch games.
I mean, I think that there is a certain, I guess, battle that I'm having to go through. I enjoyed some of the Big 12 stops, but they were places that we always went. And I think it was more of a, kind of catching up with people that you hadn't seen in a year or so when you were going on the odd even schedule. And, the OU Texas rivalry is so distinct because we never go down to Austin for football. It's always down in Dallas. But, at the same time, I think that, there is a certain level of excitement that comes with going to some new places and seeing, some fan bases that I think Oklahoma fans feel like certainly match up their level of passion and, things like that nature that, kind of revolve around college athletics like they do here in Norman.
Eddie, I'm going to ask you a question Oklahoma fans thought they would never be asked. How much will Drake Stoops be missed this year?
I think he's going to be missed, but at the same time, I think that they do have and this isn't a knock on Drake because he was a fantastic receiver and, somebody that, I think when he walked on from Norman North High School, they never thought that he would go and be the type of guy that he turned into over the last 2 seasons. But at the same time, you go out and you get Deion Burks from Purdue. He's going to be a guy that I think, will be one of Jackson Arnold's best friends. You saw it a little bit in the spring game. You saw the production that he was able to put together for Purdue over the last couple seasons. And I think that kind of transition is going to be pretty positive, pretty comfortable, pretty seamless. But at the same time, Drake was just one of those guys that, not to sound just so cliche because I hate it, but he was a coach's kid, showed up early, stayed late, all that kind of stuff. Really good player. But at the same time, it's going to be really interesting to see what Oklahoma's wide receiver unit does. I think that there's a certain level of optimism that group can be really good. It's going to come down to kind of what that offensive line's put together and what they're going to be about, having to replace a number of guys from last season. And if they had some of the guys that they, were coming back, if you had a Tyler Guyton coming back, I think it would be a lot more positive about what this offense could be, but if they're struggling and certainly out of the gates, James Pierce coming to town on September 21, I think there's already people that have some nightmares about what they might do to some tackles that are making their first start in Tennessee, obviously with a couple non-conference games under their belt.
I see the EA Sports jersey behind you. We have 12 employees up here. Nobody is giving it an A for gameplay or anything. I give it an A for all the college fanfare, but the gameplay itself is like a D+. What do you think of the game?
It's really tough. It's not the the 14 game I remember where you could basically just run up and down the field. It seems like passing's pretty tough, but I need to get on the sticks. We've been pretty busy around here playing some golf and stuff. I think here with football actually getting started, I'm going to buckle down and get on the sticks a couple times this afternoon and try to figure this thing out. It's pretty damn tough, though.
I can already tell Eddie's our kind of guy. I've been pretty busy playing a lot of golf.
Yeah. That's what it's for. This is what this time's for. I'm not going to touch the sticks again probably until January, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. I like being busy playing a lot of golf. That's what I enjoy doing.
If you would do 3 commercials in this segment, you'd be our kind of guy right here. Yeah.
Oh, Eddie knows the game. I guarantee Eddie knows the game. All right, Soonerscoop.com is the On3 site. The franchise up in Oklahoma is the radio station, and you can follow Eddie on social media at Eddie_Rado, R-A-D-O, at Eddie_RADO. Eddie Radosevich covers the Oklahoma Sooners and now the SEC. Thank you very much for the time, Eddie. Good talk to you.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Looking forward to whatever this is going to be. I know there's a lot of excitement in the state of Oklahoma for what's to come for OU athletics, and it's going to be fun.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Can't wait to see it. Take care.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Yeah, Eddie on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Can't say the same for Texas. No, I'm kidding. Glad to have Texas too. I was joking with Brownie when he gave us the list here. Eddie, say his last name again. Radosevich. It's like in All the Right Moves. You see the coach saying, Radosevich, if you don't get your head out of your butt, you're going to be working in that middle all day long.
Yeah. Craig T. Nelson
there before he was coach on the TV show.
Big Rams fan, by the way.
Was he really?
He is,
yeah. Yeah. He's still alive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When's the last time he's done something?
Who, Craig T. Nelson?
Yeah. It was on some TV show, wasn't he? The father on some TV show?
Oh, I'm trying to. Yeah, he was in that show that y'all liked. What was it called? The one y'all watched with y'all's wives?
No, it wasn't This Is Us. It was the one before
This
that.
Is Us was you're thinking of.
It was the NBC show with Dak Shepard was on it.
You're thinking of the guy that played Major Dad. What's his name? The actor.
His most recent credit is in Young Sheldon.
Oh, there you go, Young Sheldon.
Yeah, Young Sheldon.
As a coach.
Thank you, Tyler, and other Tyler.
Not stereotyped at all, is he? Parenthood.
Thank you. That was the NBC show.
Dak
Dak Shepard.
Those checks cash.
Yeah, but the Parenthood was This Is Us before This Is Us on NBC. All right, that's the show today. Don't forget all the stuff happening on the platform. More recruiting news happening around. You got the flip there today for Auburn and a lot more. The Meltdowns at 2 today, Central Time. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.